Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday Night Magic on Speed Gaming. We have an exceedingly exciting episode coming up that has been in the cards for a little bit, but it took someone such as Amazonian here, which I will introduce in a second. So a little bit about the format. If you've ever played Commander, also known as EDH, we are going to be playing with 100 card piles. The only difference is we will not have a commander. Maybe one day if we can inspire the creators of Arena. So if anybody from MTG Arena is watching, we need a commander format.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Come on.
And with that, I want to introduce a good friend of mine, Amazonian from twitch.tv/Amazonian, also known as Amy. She has been in a variety of competitive tournaments, top 16 at the Mythic Invitational, and a good friend of mine. Amy?
Hello. Thank you so much for the introduction. I am Amy the Amazonian, and I am here to talk some 100-card singleton. I'm very excited to see the piles that have been brought and the various cards that are being played. I'm actually mostly interested to see how many colors people had decided on. 1, 2, 3. I think I saw a 4-color deck on that little intro screen right there.
4 colors? No, I don't know if I'd do that in a 100-card format. Then again, though, Amy, what is the biggest pile of cards you've played with in Arena so far?
I like to play with a 250 card 5-color deck. It seems like it's the most consistent competitive deck because it has everything worth playing.
All right, and with that, I believe this match is getting started. We are going back and forth between two of our newest members of the team, Roguelink and Zebra Unicorn. So from what I know about Roguelink, and this should sound very familiar to you, Amy, Roguelink loves green-white tokens right now, and I've seen that. And also angels as well, so it's interesting to see what will happen here. So let's see. Right now, Zebra taking an early mulligan.
I definitely see Zebra Unicorn is running 4 colors.
So there's the angel part of what's going on here from Roguelink. Early Settle the Wreckage, which is really good. A Karn, which is a great fit for any 100-card pile. Highly recommended.
Yes, there are 2 colorless cards in Zebra Unicorn's deck, which are very useful for the singleton format. Skittering Surveyor to draw a card on enter the battlefield can be played with any mana base. Very useful. Or to fix mana, it grabs a land.
Can you believe it, Amy? Snubhorn Sentry still. Roguelink just having that nostalgia for that bit of mono white or green white tokens or whatever uses angels here.
It's a good card. It's a 0/3 for 1 that turns into a 3/3 late.
And speaking of angels, there we go. First powerful creature on the board. Seraph of the Scales. Here comes Karn. And
no, Karn. It looks like it's going to maybe stay back because Karn would die in just a couple turns to that Seraph. But it looks like he's coming down.
And why not? Seraph will not be able to take Karn out in one swing, it looks like here. And also, Zebra Unicorn gets rid of a land draw there, a double land draw. So that actually ended up working to their advantage.
And more lands in this deck seems great because it seems like next turn, Demon Lord Belzenlocke might come out and he will be able to block all of the advances of the Seraph of the Scale.
All right, here comes what I believe to be Demon Lord Belzenlocke here. Very excited. Demon Lord Belzenlocke has a very awesome special ability when it comes into play.
Yes, it can be a painful one, but it's a way to get some card draw as your creature comes in. Demon Lord Belzenlocke flips through and finds non-land cards, which is awesome here. Terrible if you are playing the Momir format, which causes Demon Lord Belzenlocke to actually exile everything in your deck and then kill you.
Oh my goodness, Amy, is that a mass manipulation that I'm spotting on Zebra Unicorn's side?
Yes, there's a mass manipulate. Currently, the mana base is not there to cast it, but there is an island in hand, which means that it might come down next. And, of course, we see on Roguelink's side, there's a Skullduggery, Settle the Wreckage, Make a Stand, 3 tricks in hand. Settle the Wreckage being the card which will exile any attacking creatures that are coming at their face. Skullduggery is a much smaller trick. It gives -1/-1 to an attacking creature and usually helps by giving +1/+1 to your... And Make a Stand, I believe, gives Indestructible, right?
Yes, absolutely indestructible. One of my favorite things about Make a Stand here. Now, there's also a very big but discarded card here that I want to bring up really quick. Zebra Unicorn did discard Disdainful Stroke, and whenever you see 4 mana, the first thought is Settle the Wreckage. So I think Zebra's going to regret that in a little bit.
Yeah, that's going to be tough unless another counterspell makes its way into their hand, or if they just play defensively, because of course that 1 black mana open means that Demon Lord Belzenlok is going to die. Oh, unless he doesn't block. It's either Karn or Belzenlok here. Oh. Not what I expected. I expected them to use the black mana simply to give the Seraph of the Scales Death Touch, but that also worked.
Now, I hadn't thought about that till now, but since Magic Arena does not have a proper format with the double life aspect here in Commander, you are still reduced to starting out at 20 life. So Lifelink is actually pretty good here because, again, you're going to be seeing a lot of high-level cards being tossed at you, and the ability to gain life, or counter cards for that matter, is really good. And there's In Bolus's Clutches, another uncommon card.
And the Angel has changed hands and been brought over to the dark side. And then put into bonds. So that Angel can't do much of anything now. But the passive ability of the Resplendent Angel is still active if there's any life gain in Zebra Unicorn's deck. For anybody not familiar with Resplendent Angel's ability, every time you gain 5 or more life on a turn, Resplendent Angel generates a 4/4 Vigilant Flying Angel token. That can add up because that can happen during your turn or during your opponent's turn.
I was actually pretty surprised we didn't see Tezzeret Artifice Master here. With the flyers going around, that it seemed like a pretty good choice for it right now, but instead we're...
can help cloud up the field.
But maybe Zebra Unicorn's going for Chromium.
Well, next turn, the mana is available because of that Manalith in order to flash out Chromium the Mutable. So that could happen anytime that there are, I believe, 7 mana available on Zebra Unicorn's side. But of course, Chromium the Mutable still would be exiled by Settle the Wreckage if they were to attack.
City's Blessing in play on Roguelink's side. That means that Snubborn Sentry now turns into a 3/3 on the field.
It started out as a 0/3, but now look, it's a formidable attacker.
Is that a Chamber Sentry there? Really? Wow.
Well, when you're in 4 colors, sometimes Chamber Sentry makes sense.
That's insane. I can't wait to see what happens here.
And actually, it looks like 5 colors are available to Zebra Unicorn because of that Manalith. So the Chamber Sentry could come out as 5 mana.
All right, here comes Chromium the Mutable. A play that I thought after I saw Zebra Unicorn's last turn was going to happen. So Chromium can be flashed in, and that is only the first of its good abilities.
Chromium being a 7/7 flyer, of course, can take out anything that is on Roguelink's side of the field with a block, unless it's indestructible.
It's Make a Stand time.
A lot of damage is going to go through despite those blocks. And Sailor of Means is going to die in that turn.
Roguelink has a very good short game right now, but Zebra has a very, very good long game if they can get around that Settle the Wreckage in Rogue's hand. And again, whenever you see white mana and you see at least 4 open, you know that Settle is very much a real possibility, and it being one of the best removal spells in the format, you always have to anticipate that.
But to be honest, I wouldn't expect it. These being 100 cards, and the chances of them having a Settle the Wreckage in hand are always going to be just about 1 in 100.
You know, when you put it that way. Oh, Karn's Temporal
looks
Sundering.
like there's good. Oh, don't target your opponent. You want to take the extra turn. I see the hovering going on. So Karn's Temporal Sundering has a little bit of a confusing AI because you have 2 choices to make. You have to give yourself the extra turn, and then you bounce a non-land permanent, and that doesn't have to be a creature. In this case, it is to its owner's hand. and it's extra turn time. So now Zebra Unicorn has more time to set up for a large mass manipulate, to bounce some of those attacking creatures, to do really anything to stabilize this board.
I like treasure map here as well, especially on the extra turn, just the manipulation of the draw. Now we have discovery, which will manipulate that further. Ritual of Soot
on the top. That's going to get rid of every single creature on Roguelink's side, with the exception of the Adanto Vanguard, which can be made indestructible.
At this point, I don't know if Roguelink's going to be able to afford to have that there, though.
And also, instead of destroying all of the cards on the board, it might be favorable to just take everything. That mass manipulate, if they crack that treasure map, will have enough mana to take, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So, all right, I believe they can take 3 creatures with it if they want it.
Going with the Ritual of Soot instead, probably, without knowing what's in their hand, the other card, probably the better play, but not entirely sure. I guess it depends on what Roguelink draws next.
And I saw that Zealot get put onto the bottom of the library with that Scry, which is good. At 6 life, you don't want to risk losing any more life, especially with the amount of life drain that's available in Black-White Orzhov Cup.
Alright, Tezzeret there. Pretty good stable board right now. Ooh, now we have Take Vengeance, but let's not forget about Chromium's special ability of being able to discard a card and give it hexproof until end of the turn. It may become a weak card, but it's hexproof.
Still alive, yes. It causes that Take Vengeance to fizzle. It has no valid target, so it disappears off the face of the earth. And that is a swing for lethal damage. Zebra Unicorn taking game.
Again, Roguelink had a really good short-term game for a while, but in this format, you do have to think there's a lot that can happen, especially when somebody plays blue. Blue especially can have more draw and resources to it here. So Zebra Unicorn, especially in that nice 4-color spread, had a lot available to them in a lot of long-term games. So Roguelink better come out swinging here in this one.
What an opening hand. A turn 2 Thought Erasure in this format is so unusual to see able to come off, but it looks like it's going to. And it looks like on Roguelink's side's Grandma, the Imperious Oligarch, is coming on out. Oh, that's exciting. There's actually a great low mana curve in Roguelink's hand. And again, that settled the wreckage in opening hand. That's some luck right there.
How about that turn 2 Thought Erasure? Is this standard? I can't tell right now.
There's also a Mastermind's Acquisition in that hand, which can be cast on turn 4, I believe.
And we just saw a Karn again, too. Wow, and Mass Manipulation. Oh my gosh, these are a lot of the same cards here. And we even, on Roguelink's side right now, as we can see, Roguelink has a Venerated Loxodon in their hand. What a great opening set of plays here for Roguelink.
The Loxodon, you've got that same Vampire before. They're going to be able to attack first with this Oligarch because she has Vigilance before throwing down that Venerated Lock. This is going to increase the size of all of those creatures, which is going to give more lifelink and more attack power.
Ooh, going with the Phyrexian Scriptures here. Good deal.
That is a board wipe in the next turn, unless something gets turned into an artifact or made indestructible. Oh, but it looks like Roguelink is going to take advantage of the board wipe and has placed down a Vindictive Vampire in order to get a little bit of life drain off of those creatures dying. That is an amazing play by Roguelink.
1 life, Amy. That's it.
1 life left, and there's a 1/1, which can be cast down. So it's not too scary, but it is still...
Yep, cast down with a treasure map. Good play there for Zebra Unicorn. That was so such a daunting play. I'm still like getting over the wonderful play Rogalink just made. Yeah, you can wipe my board, but you're gonna pay for it almost with the rest of your life.
And standing at 1 life against a black-white deck is very dangerous because there is a life drain available, especially in black, which might be in Rogalink's.
There's another key card on Zebra Unicorn's side of the field there. There's hope. We see that Mastermind's acquisition. Now, hopefully, Zebra Unicorn puts some sort of life gain into the sideboard to try to get something that represents a stable life board, because as Amy said, there are drain cards, especially in black, that can finish this game off when Zebra Unicorn least expects it. So, very important to pay attention to that.
Most life gain is in white, but having access to cards in black, there might be either a creature with lifelink, a spell that has some incidental lifelink akin to the Moment of Craving, which we see in Rogalink's hand. A lot of different things here could help stabilize their life total. Like an extra turn. That would help.
Would always love an opportunity to take an extra turn here. But I don't believe it can be, isn't the rule of Karn's Temporal Sundering, you have to have a legendary creature on the board of some kind to activate it?
Planeswalkers. So
or
Karn actually, we've got Karn's Temporal Sundering. That's enough to activate.
Ooh, good point.
The Dream Eater has hit the board.
Unfortunately, there's no way to effectively use the Dream Eater's ability right now, but look at all of these options, Amy. I see a Niv Mizzet possibly in our future here. Also, Nexus of Fate.
That Nexus of Fate can actually be chained with that Karn's Temporal Sundering. Because they already have that treasure map down, I'm not sure if they would want to, but they... So Zebra Unicorn could take 2 turns and just use those to draw cards and kind of look for answers. There are no creatures on Rogalink's side of the battlefield. But again, there is that fear of draw.
At least Rogalink or Zebra Unicorn does not have to worry about any kind of haste. The majority of those creatures are in red, so that shouldn't be any worry.
Oh, the decision is still being made. For anybody who's not used to seeing direct challenges in Arena, there is not a timeout. There's no roping, which can happen when you are doing a direct challenge. So you might notice players are taking a good amount of time when they're trying to make decisions.
All right, here's Niv Mizzet. Great choice here.
The big creature that's hard to deal with, being a 5/5 in the air. Definitely a formidable threat. Oh, it looks like the Dream Eater is going to go to exile, which is going to give Niv Mizzet a ping and a bit of card draw.
Yeah, I definitely see what Rogalink's doing here. I think we're about to see Impale in the next turn.
I don't see Niv Mizzet living through the next turn.
Nope. All right, no extra turns quite yet, but again, I do see a lot of extra turns in Zebra Unicorn's future.
And that Karn is going to be tough to deal with, especially because the life total is definitely going to be the priority. When your opponent's at 1 life, trying to just get that damage on there instead of focusing on a Planeswalker is going to be a good way to end the game. Niv Mizzet hit in face in response to being destroyed, but now is off the battlefield.
Another card I think we might see soon is Mastermind's Acquisition, because Zebra Unicorn needs some creatures to be able to deal some damage here, especially with Niv Mizzet gone now.
Chamber's Entry, that's a creature, but it doesn't look like it's the creature that Zebra Unicorn wants.
All right, there's 3 treasures, more mana available to Zebra Unicorn right now.
And 2 different ways to take extra turns in hand.
Zebra Unicorn wanting that peace of mind. Not only peace of mind, look at this, because of Treasure Map. That is a 4/4 artifact creature out there, thanks to Karin's -2.
It's too big to be taken out by that Moment of Craving.
That's a good point.
This Nexus of Fate is going to let them take another turn and possibly make another construct to increase the size of the existing one. Oh, or they could be using up those treasures in order to search for a card. This is going to open up that construct to being destroyed by Moment of...
Ooh, Nicol Bolas. That seems like a very good idea right now.
Forcing your opponent into top decking is always a good way to hold a bit of an advantage. But looking at the cards, I do not see any life gain here.
Well, that's a good one too. I was also thinking Carnage there, Carnage to discard, but I guess it wouldn't make sense now given the Moment of Craving. So good call with the Nicol Bolas draw.
He gets drawn anyway, and there's so much mana on the board, I would not be surprised if Nicol Bolas could come out and
So many legendary dragons in this deck, I like it.
Looks like one short of flipping Nicol Bolas, but I believe there are some basic lands in exile that could be grabbed.
I'll make use of that later.
Despite being at 1 life, it looks like Zebra Unicorn has the advantage at this point.
You never let a blue deck or any deck running blue live longer than it should. That's why us in Standard
the aggro
right
zone? Can you call it
Yes.
the aggro zone?
Yes. Those of us in the aggro zone know that if you're going up against blue, you better kill it fast. Otherwise, it's going to come back and haunt the rest of your game.
And those games will not be short. Even though, sitting at 1 life, Zebra Unicorn is here, it's going to take quite a couple turns for them to bring Roguelink down to 0 or win otherwise using, say, Nicol Bolas's.
I definitely think you flipped the Bolas here. It's too powerful. And Zebra Unicorn does just that.
Now there's a very powerful pair of Planeswalkers on the board. Nicol Bolas's abilities are more powerful than any other Planeswalkers that we have right now. And that Chromium that got binned earlier looks like it's going to be reanimated. Or Niv Mizzet. Oh, they went for Niv Mizzet.
All Nicol Bolas wanted is a friend. I mean, that's okay, right?
Yeah, just a couple dragons hanging out, having a good time. And that is a land from Roguelink.
It just seems like Zebra Unicorn has so much at their disposal. It almost hurts to look at. And now even more manipulation. Search for Azcanta, a very popular card in Standard right now.
It's a great way to search through all of your cards, especially when you're at the start of your turn and you know exactly what you might need.
So again, as a reminder to everybody, this is Commander without the Commander, if that makes sense. And you're limited to Standard, but it
Yes.
is Commander without the Commander, pretty
It's
much.
100 card singleton, which is why you're seeing some mana fixing in interesting ways. You're seeing Guild Gates, you're seeing those tap lands from Ixalan, you're seeing really anything to help Zebra Unicorn achieve 4 colors. And it looks like that is the end of
GG to Zebra Unicorn, what a deck!
Wrecking
Oh my
Face with 4 color control.
I like it. I don't know if I would want to play against this, but that is the deck where if you sat down at a table in this exact format, everyone would be after you once they start to see what you're putting together.
Oh, absolutely. Though I imagine that black-white deck, if it gets the right amount of steam, could take somebody out pretty quickly. Because again, this is 20 life, unlike Commander, which is at 40 life. So if you get the right creatures down fast enough, your opponent might be still trying to get the right mana to cast anything in their hand before you take.
So up next here, I believe we do have Clifford versus the Seawolf 1. Both are pretty heavy control players, as far as I know.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how long this match takes.
Oh no.
Oh, no. I imagine that this is going to be a show of force because you can't just play control cards in a 100-card singleton. You would run out of. All right, so we've got Rogue, Link, and Clifford going up here. Or, sorry, of the Seawolf. That is the competitor.
So it looks like right now, if I'm looking at Clifford's screen, which I am because we noticed the opponent is Seawolf 1, looks like we have a nice Temur build here. And there's a little standard, yes. And we have a little bit of Crisis on top, which doesn't surprise me given the colors. Crisis is one of the most powerful cards right now in Standard. I've been talking to people who've written articles on this one card alone. And this card, in a way, kind of defines a format. Very much so as Teferi does as well. No one wants to hear that name. It's a bad name in some places,
yes,
but
not speaking. Until we see it, it might get played.
I would like to see a Frilled Mystic here on Clifford's end to a Teferi, because that's the way to do it right now in Standard.
In those colors, in Temur colors, it is, I would say, a good idea to be playing a card as powerful as the Frilled Mystic, which is a counterspell built into a.
But this format is so much more explosive than I thought it was going to be. This was just an experiment a few days ago. I was talking to Amy. Amy gave me the idea for this, and it is so much. When you talked about your 250 card pile, you knew what you were doing. What a fantastic format so far. And it just reminds you, too, there are so many unsung heroes that we never get to see in Standard. Hopefully we get to see some more unsung heroes in this deck. And here we go, Clifford versus Seawolf. Two well-known control-ish players. I say ish because Clifford sometimes will be aggro control.
And I like they both have these fancy new avatars. We got the... Oh! It looks like they flipped off for a second there. But yes, we've got Rawl and Angrath showing up. And it looks like they both have castable cards in our opening hands.
Very powerful card starting in Seawolf's hand here. Look out for Rekindling Phoenix here. And on Clifford's side, we have an early...
synergy there.
Oh yeah, an early Cruel Spellbreaker here. You have Zagana, which will be able to be out in a few turns. Very nice opening hand here for Clifford. Seawolf's going to be struggling a little bit more, but it's looks like he drew into some of the lands he needed, so should be all set here.
I expect to see in just this turn.
Yeah.
Despite the power of the Gruul Spellbreaker, it would still die to Rekindling Phoenix. The Rekindling Phoenix would die, but it would come back the next.
Dang, is that a Scuttlegator on Clifford's side? Oh my goodness.
Gosh. So there is actually a big combo right there. Scuttlegator, if it has the chance to adapt, so it gets some +1/+1 counters on it, will actually be given Trample if Zagana is on the board, because that's one of her extra abilities. And kind of surprisingly, Clifford did not choose to give a +1/+1 counter to Gruul Spellbreaker in order to get Zagana's card.
Also, another good card I noticed, I don't know if you want to see it this early, but that is a Joshi Vess on Seawolf's side of the field. Big fan of that card, especially later on in the game.
3 cards, though, sitting in Seawolf's hands that all need 2 black mana. I'm going for that applied Biomancy, so it looks like the Gruul Spellbreaker gets buffed this turn, and the Rekindling Phoenix goes back to Seawolf's. Now there's a couple options of cards which could be played, but it looks like the Rekindling Phoenix is coming right back down.
I can't say I blame Seawolf either for doing that, because that's the best way with handling cards such as Spellbreaker right now. So I see a Clan Guildmage, Zagana right now. Probably going for Zagana here. Seems like a good choice.
Yes, and with 1 more land on a battlefield next turn, Zagana will be able to adapt and will become an 8/8. If they don't find that extra land, then there's still a Clan Guildmage and a Combine Guildmage in hand. Those are both very useful creatures.
not a bad consolation prize. All right, here comes Death Baron. Death Baron not only powers up. Oh, so good. Ooh, costly plunder on Seawolf's side. So if Seawolf is feeling bold, you could do one of two things. You could use it on the Phoenix. Phoenix comes back immediately, or just using it on that skeleton, and the skeleton can come back for a small cost.
Oh, very interesting. So it looks like the Gyre Engineer is going to give that mana needed for next. And again, that reassembling skeleton is also a scary blocker because it has Death Touch thanks to the Death Baron. So even if they adapt Zagana, she becomes an 8/8, she would die to a block from the reassembling skeleton. Here comes Josu Vess, who is also a zombie being buffed by Death. Oh, hovering over. There's a lot of words going on there. So Josu Vess has a kicker ability, which was not activated. But on his own, he is a 4/5 menacing zombie creature. I believe he's a knight in addition to his other creature type.
I see a Savage Smash on Clifford's side of the field. Very good card. +2/+2 and trample. However, I believe the Death Touch would still be in effect. So Clifford better think very, very long and hard about which one he wants to take down. He will have to 2-for-1 himself if he wants to take out cards such as Josu or the Death Baron, because right now the Phoenix would just come back.
Or could just take out the Death Baron. The Death Baron itself doesn't have Death Touch.
That's probably the play then, honestly.
Oh, so they're buffing the Gyre Engineer. And in response, looks like the Death Baron is about to get sacrificed. The Gyre Engineer still gets buffed.
I learned a thing today. I did not realize Costly Plunder was an instant until Siva played it. Oh my goodness.
It's a good use of a creature that's already going to die.
Good choice. Sarah Clifford's going for more creatures. You can never have too many. Again, because you start with a low life amount here, I think Seawolf Vivest starting to swing that Phoenix in for free. But you also have to worry about an 8/8 Zagana coming for you too. So still quite anybody's game here. Seawolf going for the attack here. Seawolf also holding a murder in hand.
Ooh, that's an instant speed kill spell that could hit any of the creatures on the board except for Gruul Spellbreaker while it has Hex. They're swinging in with Zagana.
All right, good block here. Here comes the DAP. And here comes the murder, I assume, in response. Oh, this is rough. Clifford has so many other things that he could do with his mana, but spends it all on the Adept that never hits.
And a nice. Some good sportsmanship right there, acknowledging the good play, destroying the Zagana after it's been zapped, or in the midst of its adaptation.
I think this is going to be it for Clifford for game one. That's so many things attacking. Josu Vess does have Menace, so that is, unless they double block
two things. So looks like there's still, is that 5 damage going? Oh, sorry, I forgot about the Phoenix. The Phoenix is making this lethal, absolutely.
Oh yeah. GG for game one. That was explosive.
So we're just going to go right through this sideboarding screen into game 2 because these are 100-card singleton decks. They don't have sideboard.
Except for Mastermind's acquisition, and I'm actually surprised we didn't see that from Seawolf's side yet. Well, that's a lot of lands. That is a collection of cards of Magic the Gathering variety.
Yeah. Savage Smash, which would have no target unless a creature gets drawn.
Wow. Okay, so Clifford takes this saying, yeah.
And note, there are not 2 sources of red. Oh, now there are. I was going to say, the Skargan Hellkite can't even be played.
Not yet, but do you notice that Chaos one?
Yeah, I was about to bring it up. Like, do you see that spicy card in Seawolf's hand? Chaos one is a great way to dredge up the most fun spells out of your opponent's deck and play them for yourself. Whether those be kill spells, draw spells, counter spells, anything. And the Terramander dies the turn it comes out.
Here it comes. It's gonna see play, Amy.
Chaos. Costs 4 mana to activate, so they might not prioritize using that wand, but it will be on the battlefield as a mana sink if needed. Yes, it looks like the Phoenix is coming back out.
Oh, why not? You have them on a timer. Hey, look at that! Shark to crab.
Bigger than a Phoenix, though. A Skargan Hellkite's bigger than a Phoenix. But, of course, there is an Eldest Reborn in Seawolf's hand, which means that Skargan Hellkite probably not going to live very long.
But that Shark to crab, though.
The Shark to Crab is able to tap down the Rekindling Phoenix and keep it down for a turn once it adapts.
Ooh, Simic Ascendancy. That is
an alternate win condition. Ooh, my.
Clifford here has an easy card to discard, too. Just going to discard that mountain this turn. But that Simic Ascendancy, now I've only played it in Limited, but don't let that card underwhelm you. It's quite good.
Yes, I actually see if the Rekindling Phoenix ends up being used as a blocker at all. Looks like it might not live very long. I believe that was a Thrash to Threat, or it was a Colossus. There's going to be a lot of damage right here.
Oh my gosh. Now, let's not forget, I think Seawolf wins on the next turn because Eldest Reborn will revive that Hellkite. Oh, but a Niv Mizzet that I don't think he has enough mana to cast.
No, in 3 colors in Singleton. Unfortunately, looks like that one forest is keeping them away from being able to cast Niv Mizzet. If that were an island or a mountain, Niv would come down, but not happening here. Oh no, it would have to have been a mountain.
Now, right here, it's important to note that it may have been good. I guess Clifford's doing this in case Seawolf drew a kill spell of some kind, so I kind of get that, but the Phoenix is going to be staying tapped for not as long as it normally would.
But remember, there's a hasted creature coming out, and that adapt could have happened at any time. Here comes Judith.
Oh, that's game, I think. Oh, no, not yet. The 1/1/1 counter's not on that yet. Dang it. I was thinking, wait a second.
Oh, there's enough mana to activate that Kiss Wand. If Skargan Hellkite or Rekindling Phoenix die, like by being sacrificed, Judith deals the 1 damage, and that is game.
Oh, very nice. So then in that case, the 1 life was not as powerful. GG to Seawolf. Very well executed. Alright, good match there. The next match we have is 2 new faces here, at least to me. We have Full Metal Poncho versus PTK Dog. I am not sure what to expect here, so this should be a good one.
So can you tell me anything about these two? Or have you not met them before? Again, I am new to this community, so I am unfamiliar with a lot of the names.
I'm unfamiliar with these two as well, but I'm very, very excited to get to see what type of decks they play, what kind of play styles they may have. It's all new to me, so these are the matches I actually look forward to commentating the most because I have no clue what to expect.
I'm personally just hoping one of them is playing Mardu. I would love to see a Mardu Singleton deck tonight.
Any reason why?
It's good colors. Also, a lot of angels in those colors. Absolutely wonderful to see.
Alright, so of the decks you saw so far, what cards do you think have been the most effective so far in 100 card Singleton?
It seems like a lot of those cards that have just 2 colored mana as their requirements but are still very powerful tend to help carry home, especially the recurring value cards like the Rekindling Phoenix. We've seen Rekindling Phoenix in a couple games now, and it's definitely done a lot of good.
I'm not sure what every single deck is running, Seraph. I believe most people that I have talked to so far for these deck lists are running 38 lands. I believe that's pretty standard for a commander deck, so I think a lot of people win with that statistic.
It looks like Seawolf just chimed in. They are running 38 lands in their deck. And Seawolf was, of course, the winner of that match we just saw. All right, looks like we're watching from the Gentleman Crow's perspective here.
And one thing, too, that, of course, you will be able to get here on Speed Gaming and not in too many other places is you are able to see both players' hands in Arena. I always love this feature because we can see some of the thinking that goes into these moves on both sides. I also want to see more of Chaos Wand. That card is really good in 100 cards. It makes me want to be able to buy them because I know they're cheap in paper form for my commander deck. It seems like it could be a fun thing to do in the future.
Yeah, it was printed in M19, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Ooh.
probably pretty easy to pick up. That's not the right battle. That was I believe, an accidental matchup against Sparky, the training robot, as opposed to PTK Dog. So I believe this match should probably be conceded. How do we let Gentleman Crow know that they are bullying a robot?
We'll see. Hang on. I think we can get this figured out.
Or, I mean, we could just watch this game play out against Sparky. I'm sure Sparky will bring a wonderful showing of Zephyr Gull. I do not believe that 1700 damage will be dealt to Sparky in this match. I think this match will end up being conceded.
Weren't you talking about Sparky the other day on Twitter?
A little bit. I believe that Sparky may have gained sentience, or might actually be Mark Rosewater personally playing every single game. It is unknown if Sparky is truly an AI or not.
I believe they're addressing some tech stuff here, so why not show off the deck in a match against Sparky? That seems pretty reasonable.
Absolutely. I see. So this looks like this is just some time killing. So I guess we can watch Sparky play that, spicy divination, drawing a whole 2 cards. And of course we can't see Sparky's hands because Sparky is not an actual player.
I do like the choice from the Gentleman Crow here for Epic Here of Blood. A very good card, especially in the M19 draft that I've seen a lot of in Limited lately, so why not?
Small amounts of life gain means small amounts of life drain. Those add up, especially if you have multiple sources of life.
Now, one card I really hope that is in this deck, and I'm sure it's in here, is Dawn of Hope. And Dawn of Hope would allow for a ton of card draw in these colors. And Dawn of Hope states that whenever you gain a life, if you pay 2, you can draw a card, and it creates 1/1 life linkers.
Good versatile card. For a while, we were seeing that as the finisher for Esper Control, as well as Nexus decks. A lot of them were running 1 or 2 Dawn of Hopes as just their way of eventually taking out their opponent by making these small creatures.
When can we use Sparky as our avatar? I feel like that would be amazing.
I think Sparky has to be reserved for Sparky time.
Aww.
Otherwise, people might think that you're a robot, and there's all sorts of weird ethical implications.
Gentleman Crow's going to win here by just placing a character onto the field. Just putting a creature on. That's it.
And poor Sparky, with their Zephyr Gull and Gearsmith Prodigy, trying to mill a 100-card deck. And sitting at 1 life. I think this is game. Sorry, Sparky. This looks like you've been defeated again.
Now the question is, does Sparky die when they go down to 0, or do you get to keep playing? Yep, they do. Alright, I was wondering about that. I'd never engaged in battle with Sparky.
Yes, that's why trying to kill Sparky as much as you can is quite the difficult procedure, because you have to make sure you time all your damage to be on 1 turn.
Again, just working through a little bit of tech setup here. We will be back to the matches shortly.
Oh, great sound effects right there. Getting to hear all those good.
They're so satisfying.
With all of the new card backs introduced, I love to scroll over them and hear their different chime.
Also, I have my War of the Spark pre-release booster sitting in my thing. I gotta wait another 15 days for that to crack. Dang. So, I noticed you had Aurelia as your avatar, right? Did you buy the Boros bundle?
Yes, I did. And people have been commenting, "Oh, Amy, you look so much like her." In part because I have some weird filters in order to enable my green screen on my stream. And with that green screen going, it looks like I've got a big fiery red mane of hair. Very, very fun and exciting. Also, I'm a big fan of Boros as a guild. So, what is your favorite guild?
I actually chose Boros as well because I love Aurelia.
She's the best. It's been confirmed.
She's my favorite.
But now we've got Feather coming into the mix in the next set. Feather coming back after being kicked out as Boros' former leader. It's very exciting to see Feather coming back as a very powerful angel in the War of the Spark set.
I have a feeling you and I are going to be playing red something in the next standard.
Yeah, just a little.
Between the boar and then you have Tybalt.
The boar. Oh my god, the boar.
The boar's so good. So good. I'm
For
saving
anybody
my
who
wild
doesn't
card.
know what we're talking about, you should look at the spoilers from the last couple hours of Magic the Gathering War of the Spark set, because it's an exciting pig coming your.
I have a feeling that Triple War of the Spark is going to be one of the best limited formats we've ever seen,
Or
both
worst.
in paper. Well, I don't know. I've heard rumors. I think it's true. Isn't there supposed to be at least an uncommon commander in every pack?
There's supposed to be a Planeswalker in every single
That's what
pack.
I mean. Planeswalker. Yeah.
Yes. And kind of like how Dominaria had a legendary, or sorry, a historic card, it might have been guaranteed in every pack.
Yeah.
Well, this is
I can't believe the amount of Planeswalkers that are in the set. For the longest time, I actually wanted Walkers, and also this will make other sets viable as well. You could probably use, if you're playing Pauper plus Uncommons, you can use these commanders, not commanders, Planeswalkers in there now.
I want to have a word with the Gentleman Crow about their deck names. Way too many new deck and then a number next to it.
Amy takes pride in her deck names, if you couldn't tell.
I think they're very important.
Alright, I think we are getting ready to rumble here. I see Teferi here, and I just, Amy and I have we've seen way too many Teferis for our good lately. Take our words for it, please.
Yes, we've seen enough Teferis that have made us painfully wait out our ends. So, looks like there's just a bit of challenge. Maybe one of them didn't input best of 3 and the other did. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's actually been tough going back to best of 3. When you've been playing best of 1 for so long, it's so difficult to remember, oh yeah, I'm doing best of 3 now, right? That's what everybody's been recommending. Once you get into Mythic, they're like, go back to best of 3, you will thank yourself.
Oh goodness, another card just got spoiled. The Living Twister. Didn't see that one yet. Looks like there's a new creature that just got spoiled. Is a 3 mana, 2 red, 1 green. It's an elemental. Stats are it's a 2/5, but it's got 2 activatable abilities. You can pay 2 mana, 1 colorless, 1 red to discard a land card, and the Living Twister deals 2 damage to any target. It doesn't require tapping, and you can pay 1 green to return a tapped land you control to its owner's hand. Interesting. Looks like some landfall usability right there.
I do like Living Twister. If I remember, that is 5 toughness, doesn't it?
Yes, it is. So it's a good blocker, but at 3 mana, there are already cards that have that stat line without having such a difficult to achieve. Yeah, the Ruined Armasaur is the other 2/5 I was thinking of. That's the dinosaur in green, which is quite good at blocking.
The whole set's got to be close to spoiled at this point, but I feel like there's so much more that we may have not seen yet. I think they may be saving their best for last.
I believe the main things we haven't seen are a lot of uncommon creatures. I'm still waiting on this match to get set up. Hopefully they get it figured out fairly soon.
Yeah, we might have a change in players soon if it takes too much longer, I would think. Also, did you see the price jump for Immortal Sun? It's still just...
I think it's past $20 right now. I'm actually going to open up a tab and check on TCG Player.
Last I checked, it was $35, and I picked mine up for like $6.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Immortal Sun, for anybody who doesn't know, is the Planeswalker Shutdown card, as well as just a general awesome. As a 6-mana legendary artifact, which gives your creatures +1/+1, makes your spells cost 1 less to cast, and gives you an extra card draw at your draw step. But it also stops all Planeswalkers from activating loyalty abilities. But it doesn't stop their static abilities, which many Planeswalkers in War of the Spark have. In fact, I believe all of them have a static ability. Wow, yes, so I just took a look. It looks like it's at $28 for the median price right now. That is wild, considering that it was sitting at, about like $5 ahead of time, 5 or 6.
It makes me wish I would have started to gather them when I found out the next set may feature a Planeswalker in every pack.
Oh, yeah, I feel like once people started seeing the Planeswalkers, they realized, oh... So that Teferi's good too, huh?
So this is one rant I've actually had with a lot of people lately. So instead of trying to control the meta a little bit and be like, yo, everybody settle down on the Esper, I'm tired of the Esper mirrors. They made cards to go help out with the Esper mirror, but they didn't fix the Esper. And I'm still to this day like, why?
There's, in fact, a ton of very strong, very cheap removal being introduced in this.
Isn't it 2 more board wipes?
Oh, it looks like the B is being capitalized for Blue Spark and the T as well. Such exciting plays. But yes, I was expecting us to get some small, maybe indestructible creatures. Womp womp. Looks like one person's on best of 1 and the other one's on best of 3.
I wonder if somebody could play a Rat Colony deck in Singleton, because it says you can have as many of these as you want in your
Yes,
deck.
you can. But don't.
Oh my.
Speedrun ruins. No, it's not. I think that it's time for this match to begin. I think that they've managed to... Yes, they've got it working fantastic.
Remember, folks, watch your capitalization when you're playing Arena. It's very picky about that kind of thing. Wait, I see Rat Colony. Rat Colony.
There's the rat colonies. So yes, technically, in a Singleton deck, you can have as many rat colonies as you want. Is Rat Colony good? Not necessarily. Is it there? Yes. And is it faster than anything that that could be coming out in the next few turns? Maybe. There's a Legion War Boss on hand on PTK Dog's side. That's going to make little 1/1 creatures, which are very good at attacking or blocking rat colonies.
Also, too, on PTK Dog's side, I really, really, really like Naya. Like, it's one of my favorite color combinations, so it's really cool to see somebody trying Naya, and that makes me want to eventually try to build Naya in this. But in my opinion, when I was trying to build these decks yesterday, it's so difficult to not have black because there's just so much removal in it.
Yes, it's difficult to make it a more aggressive deck, which it looks like actually both players have. But using Naya, you get the advantage of removal in white, as well as damage in red, and just general strength. And it's definitely a way to build a good creature-oriented deck. Oh, and they're holding open that Response and Resurgence in hand. And it looks like a rat is going to die. Or not! Oh no! Looks like the rat has just been simply traded for that Thorn Lieutenant.
And here we go, Demon of Catastrophes. So unless
6/6 flying trampler. Oh goodness.
yes, and unless PTK Dog draws a mana, which they did not, Vivian cannot collapse that demon yet. So Gentleman Crow, it's probably in their best interest without them knowing that one of the best strategies to take here is to keep attacking here. But remember, all it takes is 1 mana and even 1 white mana to send that demon packing.
But it looks like they are going to trade their Legion War Boss and the 5 damage from this response in order to take out the Demon of Catastrophe. So they are on that aggro plan. I think that decision was probably made with the knowledge that there were so many rat colonies in the deck.
Yes, and I suppose one of the good things about this is that was a 2-for-1, at least, for Gentleman Crow. But right here, Incubation Druid, the card that is going to make the difference in this match.
Oh, but you got to remember that demon had to cost an extra sacrifice creature, or it had an extra creature be sacrificed in order to be cast. So really, it was a 2-for-2.
Ah, no value then.
And interestingly enough, it looks like Gentleman Crow is holding on to that red mana in hand, trying to pretend that this is a mono black deck for the time being. But it looks like it might be Mardu, because I see Teysa in hand.
There's your Mardu that you asked for.
I didn't ask for Mardu rats. I didn't ask for this.
Wild animals I like.
I thought you said a Mardu
Not
deck.
so
Well,
much.
rats does qualify. This is going to be a tough board state for Gentleman Crow to come back from, though. That land flood is real.
Whisper just wants to attack anyway.
Oh, why not?
Well, with a Planeswalker on the board and a Planeswalker in hand, PTK Dog has some good lasting power. In addition to Shalai, who is very good at protecting. This
Yeah,
has 2
definitely.
forms of removal I noticed in hand.
My newest friend.
The question is, do you want to activate Incubation Druid's adapt ability to have access to more mana here?
Well, they already have enough mana to kick Varus and get 2 dragons on the field. So I guess the adaptation will get to wait a turn. So here is Varix Bladewing and the, I believe, is it Katrox Bladewing? Karox Bladewing? The other token that comes.
Yes.
And Vivian is only a few turns away from ulting.
I think at this point you put the Shalai out and protect the Vivian. I mean, your opponent is playing black, so removal is a big thing. You know, Vraska's Contempt can happen
I've seen things
still.
that would break someone like you.
Well, they're using Vivian's ability to check around and see if there's anything better that they could draw. Jade Light Ranger, good at finding lands, but they definitely don't need lands right now. Oh, and it looks like a Johnny's gonna hit the field. Another Planeswalker.
You do not have to fight alone. Deliver us to victory.
Those are some big dragons.
back to that one life we've been seeing all night. It's a very common theme. Ooh, there's Tender Shoot Dryad. I was talking to you about this card earlier.
It's
Big
so
fan.
good. It's such a good card. I just wish it didn't die so easily. It is a card that's fantastic in this format, though. Though it does die to that Gideon's Reproach if you decide to attack with it. Oh, so they could actually heal themselves with Torgar here, which wouldn't save them from death, but would be a fun play.
It doesn't look like they went for that option, though. I think that's it for this one.
Looks like good game. Tapped out with a whole lot of attack power on the board. That looks like the win goes to PTK Dog.
Alright, here we go. Oh, look, Amy, it's all rat colony. Oops, all rats.
Oops, all rats. And 2 white mana in hand. You know, we didn't see any white mana that last game. Oh, did the overlay just start looking a little funky to you too, or is that just on my screen?
It looks a little funky for... Oh, there we go. I think we're all set. We assure you that was not Arena. That was probably on Speed Gaming's end.
It was likely just something timing out for a second. Okay, throwing down that plains for... And drawing more rats. Wow, sure is rat colony around here.
I expected you to say rats, but then I remember you probably don't, you don't have as bad of jokes as some people I know.
Oh, rats.
Looking at you, Seawolf. I know you've made that joke. Alright, Adventurous Impulse, great card in Commander here. Allows you to look at, for a creature or a land card. Land card being very good when you're trying to fix your mana at the beginning. Great call there on that choice.
And that Stone Core going to give them access to all 3 colors in their deck. And we see that Tender Shoot Dryad in opening hand. You know, against rats, that's going to be a force to reckon with, because Tender Shoot Dryad's going to pump out blockers that can really just take care of those Tender Shoot Dryads, or take care of those rat.
This is the point where you hope your opponent doesn't have 3 red mana, because oh my goodness, Chain Whirler in this situation. See, Rat Colony is great, except the fact that they really don't have toughness. I mean, they have 1 toughness, but that's nothing.
Pretty much any first striker can take them down, any sort of removal damage-wise. The biggest thing you can do with Rat Colony is to make them unblockable with Tetsuko in a constructed deck, but that's a lot harder to do in single.
Not a bad one here. History of Benelia could be enough to put PTK Dog back in this game. Also, too, Tender Shoot Dryad, by the way. No real good way to kill it. It could help out, although, look at this 18 damage right here.
Yep, and it looks like Tender Shoot Dryad might not be able to be played because they need something that comes in on tap. And look at that! And are they going to play it right now, or are they going to wait until their opponents... Nope, it looks like it's coming out right now.
No, you absolutely... I get the mentality behind playing that right now. Oh my goodness. What a top deck there, Amy.
Absolute insanity. That is going to be quite the reset for this game, because Tender Shoot Dryad has hit the board and is going to probably get the City's Blessing in just a...
And is that a Domri I see? Yes, it is. I love Domri so much.
Domri Raid's going to let them search for creatures or get some additional mana to give Riot to a creature in their hand.
Oh, you definitely negatives are here. And look at that, a Hellkite off of it.
Hellkite's very good at taking out rats.
You know, I've seen a trend today. I mean, this is one thing that I really am starting to love about this format. It's truly anybody's game down to the last life, which is so different from what I've seen in current standard right now.
And Torgar is coming down, but this is actually going to be really rough for Gentleman Crow because Torgar has to set somebody's life total to 10. So they either have to heal their opponent or hurt themselves. And it looks like they went for healing the blue stork, healing PTK.
You really hate to see that happen.
Goes from 1 life to 10 life. Pumps out 3 threes every turn. And we're about to see a double rioted Skargan Hellkite.
I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of this play right here.
You like hasted 5/5s? Because I like hasted 5/5s too.
Hasted 5/5s with a wonderful ability. Let us not forget about Hellkite's special ability. If you have at least 4 mana, 1 red, and 3 colorless, you can do 2 damage to anything, and that includes even sending 2 damage straight at your opponent. I find it funny, a lot of the conversations we've also had lately, a lot of these cards today. For those of you who do not know, Amy loves all of different kinds of decks with all these different kinds of cards, and something that I really love about her stream in particular. So we've gotten to have a lot of great conversations about these cards, and right here we're seeing a lot of our conversations play out tonight. And that is GG for PTK Dog there.
Yeah. A slam to the face with a whole bunch of saplings. And a dragon. There was also a dragon involved.
There may have been a dragon or two.
Just one. Just one. Well, there were the other 2 earlier. That's true. There was Varix and Carix in the previous game. So, do we know who the next competitors will be? Because that is going to be the end of my commentary. I will be leaving you to continue on your merry way.
And we will continue here, but please, 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 let's hear Amazonian. Please give her a follow at twitch.tv/Amazonian. I promise you all, it is probably one of the best Magic streams you'll ever watch. Again, she has a lot of energy, a lot of different cards, a lot of different formats, including, you know, again, that wonderful 250 card pile we were talking about. Amy, would you like to leave them with anything?
Yes, I would like to leave everybody with some good luck for the upcoming matches. I'd like to say, go get him and play some cool decks. All right, well, thank you so much for having me. And I hope that I get to talk to you soon, because you were always wonderful company. And it was so great getting to meet you in person at PAX East.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for doing this again for us. I always enjoy all the time. And good luck on your tournament tomorrow. I'm going to be looking forward to watching. You said that was going to be about 2 o'clock tomorrow? You're going to start?
Yes, I'll be in I believe it's called the Fandom Legends Tournament hosted by Curse Gaming. So I will be competing for a couple $100, a couple thousand, I think, in first place, trying to rake it in and take it home. We'll see.
I believe in you, and I know you're going to be fantastic. Everybody, please give Amy a follow, twitch.tv/Amazonian. I know Amazonian there too, but Amazonian is the name of her bot, I believe. So Amazonian, I put it all up there for you. Thank you again, Amy, for your time, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we are not wasting a minute here. We are back underway again. We are speedrunners, and we're going to be playing Magic Fast here. So now we have Zebra Unicorn v Seawolf 1 here. Looks like Seawolf 1 is going back again with the Rakdos Heart in the Paint here. Zebra Unicorn going with that lovely, lovely control deck. And it's funny because Seawolf typically plays control. This is a little more on the aggro end for him. So it's really funny to see cards on turn 3, such as Captain Lanry's Storm that might hit the field right now. Gotta love that card, by the way.
Yeah, Lanry's Storm is real good for aggro in these sort of situations. You never know when that treasure is going to be real important. Always an awkward blocker.
Also, here on the comms, we one of our newest members to the admin of Team Instant Speed, Rogue great matches earlier. Gigi, I know you were drawing some lands. I kind of want to see more of that deck. I want to see that deck hit what it's supposed to hit. And again, thanks for being here, for joining us. I've been very impressed with your playing since I've seen you start to play Magic. So I'm excited to have you here on the team.
Well, thanks for the welcome. Yeah, it's a shame the games didn't go how I wanted, but, you can't always get a Black Rose on turn 4 with a giant vampire trigger on turn 5.
It happens, and again, I really hope we get to see more of that in the future, but oh my gosh, is that... So for those of you who don't know, and I recommend this for Paper EDH, Doom Whisper is one of the most busted cards in this format. Now, maybe not with 20 life, but when you start out with 40 life and you're in Commander, you can dig through your deck even when it faces certain death. Your Seawolf taking full advantage of his draw with Doom Whisper here. How low can he go?
Unfortunately, Doom Whisperer immediately getting cast down. Seawolf going for only one Surveil trigger, which is kind of surprising, but... Ooh, and that Eldest Reborn is going to be real awkward real soon.
I'll say it before and I'll say it again. Why was Eldest Reborn an uncommon? What the heck?
Wait, it's uncommon?
Yeah, look.
Yeah, I guess it is uncommon, jeez.
So you heard it here, folks. If you are trying to play Magic free-to-play, and yes, it is free-to-play, some people may say otherwise, Eldest Reborn is one of your best uses for an uncommon wild card. It's just that good.
You were foolish to come.
It is pretty solid. I'm surprised I didn't see it more in Sealed.
I want to say, okay, I have weird superstitions about Sealed and Limited, okay? I feel like, maybe it's just me, I feel like it's one of those uncommons that's so busted it doesn't show up as often as it could, especially in Limited. Maybe that's just me.
True.
Maybe it's just
true.
confirmation bias, but I feel like I don't see it that much in Limited when I play.
It's definitely one of those mythic uncommons in Draft that you're just going to pick up immediately. And that's what I was referring to earlier. Doom Whisperer going on Zebra's side of the field.
Also, how about that Nicol Bolas right now?
Ooh, that's going to be good.
The advantage right now has quickly shifted from Seawolf over to Zebra Unicorn. One of the things that I have admired about Zebra deck construction here in this format is the fact that it adapts to whatever deck it plays so easily and stabilizes even at the 1 life threshold. It's good things deck, and Zebra Unicorn must have built the land base near perfect because I haven't seen it struggle too terribly much with land so far tonight.
Yeah, Zebra's deck was pretty good at landing solid threat after solid threat, and even though I was dealing with them in the earlier match, they just kept coming. And it seems like they're going to keep coming with that Hostage Taker and Raoul Zarek coming down fairly soon, I think.
Oh my goodness, that, the Hostage Taker into the Phoenix, obviously see probably Banefire, before it would let anything go wrong, but oh my goodness. No, Banefire's gonna get used this turn for Nicol Bolas, because if you don't, you're in some hot water there otherwise. You never want that Nicol Bolas to flip, just the opposite side of it. Just take a look at it sometime and gather. It's really, really, really good.
Yeah, Nicol Bolas is definitely a magnet for lava coils, that's for sure. So everything mostly cleared out. Looks like Seawolf does still have a Phoenix on their side of the battlefield.
Builds with ease.
Those Thopters are definitely going to hold off that damage for a decent amount of time.
Oh, come on. I just want to peek.
I'm hoping that when we're done, Zebra Unicorn shares their deck construction because, oh my gosh, it looks like a ball to play in this format. It looks like so much fun.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be steal your opponent's stuff.deck. When I had to choose between a Bolas's Clutches and a Mass Manipulation, I knew what that deck was doing right away.
Let us begin.
All right.
Evil cannot
Now, one of
withstand
the greatest things about Tezzeret, and one of the greatest things about when I think of great planeswalkers out there, a planeswalker that has the ability to defend itself is such a critical thing. We see this back in Return to Ravnica with the Vraska in that set, the first ever Vraska for that matter, of when you touch it, it gives itself Death Touch with its plus ability. Well, here, Tezzeret produces tokens that can protect it. Not only tokens on the ground, it produces tokens in the air to defend against flyers as well. And that's one thing I really like about Tezzeret. I'm surprised it doesn't see more use, but again, the answer for everything in Standard is Teferi, unfortunately.
Yeah, Planeswalker that can defend itself. Just being able to defend itself is a really, really crucial element of any Planeswalker when you're evaluating it.
Now, Zebra Unicorn sitting here being, how do I want to take care of? What is my pleasure this time around? Just Zebra Unicorn with what it seems to be all the cards right now.
It is best if you stop.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the play's gonna be here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what's in their sideboard for Mastermind's acquisition.
I think if I'm in the doing exactly what I thought, Hostage Taker for the Phoenix, because why not at this point? It's too good.
Though I think if that Phoenix dies, it goes under Seawolf's control, right? Or does it go to Zebra when it becomes the 0-1?
I would have to read the text on the card. It might actually go back to Seawolf. That's one of those things, much like with Trostani, that you have to make sure you know what happens before you play with it. I will say I'm embarrassed to admit that one time I took a Nicol Bolas, okay? I played the Nicol Bolas, and then like an idiot, I flipped the Nicol Bolas, and the flipped Nicol Bolas went to my opponent's side of the field. Don't do that, folks. You definitely play the Phoenix here for security, though. I mean, you don't want Hostage Taker dying, and then the Phoenix just comes back automatically to their side. At least make them waste a spell to do so. Alright, 3 treasure here. Seawolf trying to get some leverage here with Karn.
Well chosen.
Cast Down is really good. Cast Down will get him access to the Phoenix if Karn lives to fight another day, which it doesn't look like it's going to, actually. The token goes to controller, but it can only target your own yard. Oh, so the card would fizzle that. Thank you, chat. Appreciate that.
Okay.
But I will tell you, the thing that happened with that Nicol Bolas was a true story.
I think my personal favorite in terms of blunders is I always forget that the Siren that you pay 1 to counter an ability, I always forget that's targeting you or player. I've definitely gotten blown out by that.
Alright, Zebra saying, hey, remember this Phoenix? Yeah, it's on my side now. Alright, everybody coming for Karn. Karn lives at 1 life right now, but Seawolf will get an extra draw this turn because of the treasure.
Time to choose. Always so exciting.
Just, oh, Chemister's Insight on top of everything.
Yeah, Zebra is definitely the one in control of this match right now.
And Plaguecrafter not going to do much for Seawolf here right now, so they can just get rid of a token. Cast Down for the Phoenix, so let's see what Seawolf's thinking is going to happen. Here we go. Phoenix dies, returns to their side, as people were talking about in chat, great call there. Seawolf going to sack a treasure, draw a card.
Oof.
Land ho, am I right?
Yeah, land not exactly what you want to see here. Zebra's hand's still full of gas and ways to get more gas.
Brow's a really good card in this format too. Again,
Is killing me.
I do what I always do, and you shouldn't do this. Never underestimate blue, ever. I just, as an aggro player, I just don't think of blue too much, you know?
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. I'm usually playing some form of Mardu aggro, either red, black, or white, and I just try to get under it before all the big fancy control cards come down.
I made you.
Yeah, you're in Mardu, whereas I'm usually in some kind of Kaya color. Been playing the Simic build lately that's been splashing some minor blue stuff, but only to hate on Planeswalkers, Teferi in particular.
Right, sacrificing another treasure for that card draw. And we've got another mountain. Oof.
That's a lot of lands in there. Remember too, I believe Seawolf is playing at least 38 lands in his deck, and Arena Algorithm can get a little squirrely, so it's understandable to see this much land flood, but come on now, game. Oh, and Angrith too, that Zebra just drew with that.
Yeah, that's gonna be really good, but I don't think this is gonna last too much longer, honestly.
No, this is a very typical control setup right now. How about that 0-1 token, by the way?
Yeah, shoutouts to sending a message with the 0-1.
I can't help it. That's just funny. I like it. I mean, it shouldn't be funny, but it's pretty funny. And here comes Mr. No Fire, No Steel himself. Probably one of my favorite
Never
sayings
seen
from Arena with
water
this
burn,
Planeswalker.
No fire, no steel.
Yeah, it's always a nice touch with
I
the
learned a few
Planeswalkers
tricks on
saying stuff for each of their abilities.
Oh yeah.
The search for the unknown. That's real science.
Like, I think Raoul said 3 or 4 different things with that same activated ability so far.
It just goes to show you how much. Oh my gosh, another land for Seawolf. Come on, Arena.
Is this going to be another mountain?
Yeah.
We're going to go 3 for 3 on mountains?
I hope not.
Well,
It's captive audience. I think
That's
too
that's
little, too
really
late.
good. Yeah, it's too... It's just a little sooner. That would have been fantastic.
I love captive audience so much. We don't see enough of it, obviously, too standard, but by far, Rogue Link, one of my favorite enchantments in the format. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more expensive ones, but it sure does work when it lands.
So probably what they'll do here is just reduce their life. If I were to take a guess to 4. Doesn't matter much at this point.
Yeah, with 5 Thopters tapped out and Seawolf being tapped out and having no
Wait,
cards in hand.
What? Did Zebra just discard their entire hand? Wait a second. Time out here.
And drew the Nexus off of it. Like, what is going on?
That's 100 card singleton though. Such a wild format. Now, Roguelink, what were your impressions when you played this during your round of this format so far?
Yeah, it's definitely been very explosive. I know I was having trouble building a deck because I've never done any sort of Highlander or Commander brewing, so I was kind of lost. Ended up focusing way too much on the decks I wanted to build with Spark, so that's why I ended up going with sort of black-white tokens. But it's a very interesting format. I definitely want to play more of it in the future.
I think so too, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, it's been an entertaining play for the crowd so far. Just so many things, anything at once can happen here. So now as we go into game 2, I don't think we saw too much side deck action here, but we're going into game 2 here.
Yeah, I think it went into the sideboards because of the Master's Acquisition. But
Yes.
otherwise, I don't think either player has any actual sideboards.
You know, a card I'm sad we haven't seen yet is Helm of the Host. I expected to see that card in this format.
Oh, Helm of the Host would be real good in this format, now that you mention it.
Oh, absolutely. You're able to duplicate things over and over. It looks like a fun card in general.
Remind me to Helm of the Host to Judith for the next 100-card singleton, because, you know, I'm a monster, apparently.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Now I really want to do that, actually. Seawolf coming down hard and fast, though. Already bringing Zebra down to 6.
Wow. Seawolf just sparing no expense here. Not even gonna hold the Vraska's contempt. Seawolf just telling Zebra, yo, deal with this.
And right now, Zebra has some pretty expensive cards in hand. I'm real curious to see if they can hold out, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Oh,
Since they're
Bone
tapped
Dragon.
out, and Seawolf is about to swing in for lethal.
That was the fastest game of 100 card singleton I've ever seen. Seawolf evens it out here. on the fast swings. Get ready for game 3.
That was incredible. Curious to see how game 3 is going to go. Let's see if Seawolf can get another extremely explosive hand again.
No, you don't want to see that hand. You need more land than that. I mean, people take almost entire hands full of land because this format requires a ton of land.
I probably would have taken that hand if it had 1 black and 1 red. Like, if it had a red source in it with that swamp, I probably would have kept it.
And speaking of mulligans, by the way, did you know that the London mulligan is currently being tested right now? This is the Vancouver mulligan, what we're seeing right now, but on its way is the London mulligan, which modern players, from what I understand, enjoy it. I don't know how it would play out in standard.
Yeah, I'm real curious to see if the London mulligan ends up coming to Arena/Standard, because the ability to see 7 cards each time and then pick the ones that you want to put away really feels like just the best part of Scry, or at least the parts that I really enjoy of the Scry from the Vancouver mulligan.
All right, Zebra here having a really, really good hand to start out, by the way. A lot of manipulation, a lot of draw. Sailor of Means, it is a card I've underestimated in this format so far.
Yeah, it's certainly a real good body, real good blocker. Plus it comes down with that minor ramp, getting the treasure token coming down.
So another card that I really like in Rakdos, and I built a Rakdos one as well, Theater of Horrors seems like a really fantastic card in this format. Seawolf is about to make full use of Theater of Horror here. So, expect to see some shenanigans between Twilight Prophet and Theater of Horrors here. I'm excited to see how their possible interaction may be. However, we may not get to see that interaction if they choose to Hostage Taker this turn.
Yeah, all of Zebra's crowd control and, ability to steal is starting to come into play here soon. And only 1 mana away from that Clutches as well.
Also, how about that Electro Dominance in Seawolf's hand? Another fantastic rare.
Oh, Electro Dominance is a really fun card. I haven't played much with it myself, but...
In Bolus Clutches. Oh, and the Doom Whisperer! Seawolf is so close to being able to play that. Here comes some land. Seawolf's like, I'm making an investment in my future right now. What a gutsy play for Seawolf, but you gotta like it, honestly.
Yeah, that was pretty solid. Waiting for some sort of 3-drop. Maybe so they can play the Electro Dominance into the Mockery. I'm really looking forward to what actually ends up getting cast off the Electro Dominance.
Bedeck Bedazzle looks like a good candidate, at least for the Bedeck side of it.
That's true. Bedeck could get cast off of Electro Dominance already.
But I think we're going to see some Doom Whisper this turn. Nope, Seawolf going for the Electro Dominance here. Well. What do we have here?
Yep, going for the 4, takes out the Prophet.
Yeah, Prophet's just too good in this format, especially with the City's Blessing there too, with the extra draw going on. Does not play an extra card there, though. I guess Seawolf's gonna save his Bedeck. I think Bedeck only gives -3, doesn't it? I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember. Let's see.
It's a negative ability, and I think that War Toughness was too much for it. Alright, I believe Doom Whisper is going to come out here, and I believe Zebra Unicorn is going to cast on, unless, this is a big one, unless Zebra Unicorn wants to Hostage Taker it. Oh, it's -3, that's what it was, okay.
Yeah, +3, -3 for Bedeck.
I see Bedeck being used as a removal spell more than a pump spell, typically, when I've seen it be played. Oh yeah, Macabre Mockery is deck. Or in Seawolf's hand at this point. That's kind of spicy right now, actually. If Seawolf can get a good thing in the grave. Also, you know what else I haven't been seeing much of here? I'm surprised at Rogue Link. There's no counter magic. I've seen all this blue, and no counter magic yet.
Yeah, we had the Devious cover-up, which I think is the first counter that I've seen all evening. But it seems like everyone wants to just play some cowboy magic, just go all in, no counters, just go nuts.
I'm gonna borrow that term off you one day. I really like that.
Yeah, I can't say that I came up with it, but boy, is it a good... Boy, do I like saying it.
Ooh, good value card for Soup. Now it's the Gravedigger. Probably going to get Twilight Prophet? Yeah.
Twilight Prophet seems good here.
And that's a very classic card, too. I don't know what set Gravedigger was first printed in. What a wonderful card, though. You get a 2/2 body.
Gravedigger's been around for a long time.
That's a classic. And also a Severed Strands. Not a bad sacrifice card, either.
Looks like 6th edition. Gravedigger's been around since 6th edition.
Wow. But we have that Nexus of Fate again. It's back. Now here's
Speaking
the thing.
of which...
I have a question for you. What happens, I don't know if they would do this just to take it away from them. What happens if mass manipulation is used on Theater of... Does Zebra Unicorn gain access to all of the cards attached to Theater of Horrors? Because I'm very curious. I've never seen that come up before.
Unfortunately, mass manipulation is creatures and or planeswalkers. It's not permanent. So it can't snag that enchantment.
That makes me so sad. I wanted the thing happen. Dang it. So it's good, but it's not that good. Seawolf did that just to get some life back. I noticed, oh no, there's everybody's card they hate to love and love to hate. It's Teferi in Zebra Unicorn's hand. No! That is like the card I would not want to see in this format. Ooh, treasure map again. I like that. I can tell who's watching from my stream too, because they know that I do not like Teferi. The gate, though, coming from Zebra.
Yep, so it's because you said something about the counter magic. Now all the counter magic's showing up.
Oh, of course, that's half the fun. Alright, so still nothing from the Chromium. I believe, though, that they do not have white mana yet, so Chromium is not playable. I didn't think about that till now. I looked over at their mana base, and I'm like, Oh, mass manipulation, though.
Yep, just enough to clear that board. If Seawolf can't deal any damage, then there's no way they can start playing those cards off of Theater of Horrors. Although...
Oh, here it comes again, Roguelink. And this time...
This might be just enough, but is it too slow?
Can they get rid of it? I want to say no. I'm looking at Zebra's hand. I guess, could Teferi -3 the captive audience?
To return it to a hand? Probably.
No. It goes back to the second, no, the third top from the deck.
Oh, right.
But there's no white mana, though. There's no white mana yet. That's the key point.
I believe it's a permanent for Teferi. But yeah, that's a good point. I didn't notice that there was no white mana on Zebra's side.
Yeah, but Zebra's trying, though. You anticipate here, you try again to draw that white mana. Oh, never mind. Tome of the Guild Pact, add 1 mana of any type to a color. Here comes the card you just love to hate and hate to love. Here comes Teferi, folks.
Or Ritual of Soot, just to get rid of all these zombies.
I want to see you go for Teferi here, though, because Contempt could be in Seawolf's hand. Remember, oh no, wait, they can't. They can see Severed Strands. Never mind, that little eyeball symbol tells me that Zebra has seen Seawolf's hand. So what do you do here, then? I think -3, maybe? You have 16 life to play with right now. I think you get Teferi out, you -3, and lose it the next turn. Remember,
that makes sense.
I think Ral is about to ultimate here too. Isn't Ral negative 8?
I don't remember. But yep, looks like the soot's coming down. I had a feeling that was going to be the case, because otherwise I don't think Zebra would have so quickly gone with the 5 zombie tokens.
Rise from the Grave. Now there's an interesting card right now as well.
Yeah, most importantly, I believe Rise from the Grave is any graveyard, not your graveyard.
Okay, using Severed Strands here. Using the skeleton for that. Good call. Good call. All right, you probably get the reassembling skeleton back out. I believe we might be seeing the ultimate from Ral here this turn. Do they go down to 4 life? Yeah, they do, probably. You don't want to discard your hand at this point. Yeah!
Yeah,
There it is.
Zebra's hand is full of gas, but Seawolf doesn't really have much of a board presence.
So I'm thinking Teferia this turn. Yep.
Yep, there it is.
Yep. And the multicolored spell draws a card. Look at that, Roguelink. Thief of Sanity. One of
Now
the
the real
best.
question
slow this
is Zebra going to bring down the hostage taker just to remove any board presence at all?
No. I would say you put out Thief of Sanity here. Seems like a good option right now.
Oh, that's a good call. I didn't see the thief in the corner there.
Yeah, you put Memorial to Genius down for possible card draw later on. You put out Thief of Sanity. And then there's some thought that goes into what do I do with this Ral that's sitting here? Depending on what Zebra Unicorn's agenda is. There's that white mana finally. About dang time. Glacial Fortress in the hand. I mean, he was able to have white mana for a little while. There's that ultimate ability from Ral.
Yeah, that's going to start adding up really fast. Seawolf checking everything that's under the Theater of Horrors right now.
So again, I'm going to read this for myself and for everybody else's benefit here. The -8, which is the ultimate to Ral we just saw happen here. You get an emblem with whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery spell. This emblem deals 4 damage to any target and you draw 2 cards. That is massive, as with any Planeswalker's ultimate ability. Now here's another thing here. We're seeing a lot of control going on Zebra Unicorn side. I cannot help but wonder if the mythic Admiral Beckett Brass is in their hand, because that's another card that can seize control of things. So that's pretty interesting.
Oh, that's a
Something
good question. I hadn't thought of the Admiral.
But it depends on, I guess, how many pirates they're playing too.
That's true. I haven't really seen too many pirates besides the hostage taker.
And there it is. There's the extra turn right there. I believe we're about to see it. Yep. Karn's Temporal Sundering. 4 damage. Drawing cards.
And I believe Zebra just has to cast any spell now, and that'll be game.
I think Anticipate.
Or just swing it in the air. That works too.
I want to see Anticipate for game. Aw.
That would have been pretty great.
Aw. That's okay. That's okay.
A fizzling counterspell with no target or something like that. That also would have been good.
Dang, what a pair of games from these two. That was pretty exciting to see. So I think that wraps it up for my end of comms for tonight. I believe they want to have me into play in a little while. I'm going to take a look at my decks really carefully and see what I get to play. I think I get a small break here, and then I'm going to play. So thank you again, Roguelink. That was fun doing commentary with you, and I'll be around on the comms next week for Wednesday Night Magic. But for now, I will play one other game. We'll see what happens. And yeah, it was a ton of fun. I would do this format again, and I'll be back soon. Thank you again to Speed Gaming for having me, and see y'all later. Have a good night.
Good luck with your games.
Thank you.
And there she goes.
Welcome, Clifford.
Hello, Roguelink. How are you?
Good. That was a crazy set of games.
That really was. That was lots of twists and turns there. That game too was. This is the anomaly, really.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth. The second game just blitzed right under the the control radar, but game 3 was really tense.
And I do want to say thanks again to Amazonian and to Skybills both for doing some commentary tonight. They were both great. You should give them both some love because they deserve it. We're gonna get her ready. She'll be in the next game after this one. But first, we have Seraph and Sakura. Battle of the S's. Who you got?
Really, Battle of the S's. Yeah, really curious to see what the players are going to be bringing to the table here. I'm expecting some ooze shenanigans coming from Seraph.
That's what it kind of looks like there.
Maybe some adapt, maybe some alternate win cons, perhaps?
We can only hope. If we can see a Simic Biomancy win. No, a Simic Ascendancy Bioman. Different card.
Although Simic Ascendancy with the ooze, that seems pretty powerful.
Seems like a lethal combination. Well, kind of lethal.
Oh, did Seraph just suddenly change the... Oh, going up against Sparky. Waiting for the game to start, it seems.
I show off these... Wait, this isn't that other deck.
No, it's not. I think this was four color something crazy.
Well, it's just the bot.
The real question is, do we keep this hand? I think the answer is no, but Seraph really seems to want to.
I mean, it is the bot. Do you think...
How greedy... Yep, there we go. How greedy of a keep can you keep on the bot and still win? But it looks like Sparky pulls ahead, taking the win over Seraph with an instant concession. But it looks like Hellvoid is in fact going to be the singleton deck of choice. I'm real curious to see what's in that. So it looks like it wasn't going to be ooze after all.
Well, color me fooled.
Sparky is 1-1 tonight. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's Sparky. Part of the new update, well, the last update. The new update is I don't know what's in the new update. I haven't seen the patch notes. That's coming out in the morning. Right? Tomorrow morning, new update?
I think it was today, wasn't it? I don't remember.
It's either today or tomorrow, but there are patch notes somewhere probably.
Yeah, real curious to see. I believe they mentioned on Twitter that it was going to be a big one, but I'm looking forward to the big patch in 2 weeks when War of the Spark comes to Arena. That's gonna be some crazy fun, and it looks like the game is underway.
We have started. I'm also...
Ooh, I love
really
this hand, except for the lack of land.
No, it's perfect. You just draw into lands from here. It's simple.
Yeah, step 1, get gas. Step 2, get land.
See, look at that. Easy.
Oh, it looks like both players having some trouble with land here. And I'd like to note, lots of red today.
There has been lots of red running around.
I think only a handful of people have not played red this evening. But I think everyone's played either red or black.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of red and black running around. Unfortunately, Seraph not drawing any lands.
Oof. Yeah, I wasn't thinking for a second there, and I thought he was about to cast that volcanic dragon, and then I realized, oh, unfortunately, that's the discard step. Still not getting any land. Oof.
You got to think maybe the mulligan might have been the right play on the zero lander.
maybe this is all part of his plan. Maybe he's got graveyard shenanigans going on. I don't know.
It all could be.
It could all be a pleasant surprise.
It's all just a big facade.
Unfortunately, Sakura is getting a creature onto the battlefield here. Nice big Rakdos roundabout.
Well, the Gilded Lotus helps with mana, just not the way we want. Unfortunately.
Yeah, this is going to be a real nasty curve. Going for... not the Phoenix. Maybe the Phoenix? Looked like something else was getting cast. Ah, the Mockery. Oh no!
Rip the Mockery. Casting it after the attack.
That's definitely a, that was definitely Sakura playing, having a bit of mercy for their target. Still
Definitely
no
an
land for
oops.
Seraph.
Saw the oops in Discord from Sakura.
And that's unfortunately going to be a concession from Seraph.
Gotta think it had to have been a misclick on the keep of the hand. When you look at the zero lands, and
Now, is there land in this deck? That's the question.
there's gotta be, right? There's gotta be lands in the deck. You don't just build a deck without lands. Right?
I assume there's land in there.
I mean, I once built a Pokemon deck that didn't have any energy cards in it. That was a legitimate strategy.
I honestly don't remember. I remember playing as a kid. I do not remember enough about Pokemon to actually make a good joke, though.
All right, well, we have 2 lands this time in both players' hands, so that's good.
I think Seraph eyeing that Gutter Snipe for a turn 3 play. Sakura going for an early Gutter Bones, though. No red mana for the Shock. Or the Roundabout, but a turn 1 Gutter Bones is a really good aggro play.
Gutter Bones it's one of those cards that you just can't get rid of. So sticking them on turn 1, gonna be there forever.
And there's that red source. Unfortunately, I think that if that Gutter Snipe does in fact come down on turn 3, it's just gonna meet an untimely end to Shock.
Yes, more than likely. Hopefully we'll find that 3rd land though. And we do.
Hey, there it is! Unfortunately... well, it's gonna last at least a little bit. Sakura's still gotta untap to get that red mana back.
And then out comes the Shock immediately. Then we're gonna see 4 damage.
That Chain
Back
Whirler
Breath.
probably not gonna come down for a long time, but the Rafter Demon's pretty close.
Yeah, the Rafter Demon a little closer to being played. Chain Whirler needs a little bit of more red mana. Well, there's more mana, but not quite the color the Chain Whirler was hoping to see.
Plenty of black for that Vraska's Contempt, though. So if Seraph does manage to stick a threat, it's probably not going to last very long.
Probably not. And we're going to see another 4 damage attack coming through from Sakura here.
Now, if Seraph can survive just a little bit longer, the Scriptures is going to clear the board. So that could help out for at least a little bit.
Yeah, just have to live long enough Definitely, Seraph does not want to put any counters.
Fortunately, it is up to one target creature, not one target creature. Lightning
the
coming into the
wizard's
face.
lightning.
Not quite lethal on board yet. I don't believe the Rafter Demon has haste.
No. We'll be able to attack for 6 here, though. Wants to save the red mana. So only attacks for 4. Now all the non-artifact creatures are gone.
And now it's definitely safe to play some creatures. That Rafter Demon's probably going to be hitting the board here soon. There we go.
And that's representing lethal.
And Seraph can get a blocker down. Can also destroy the Rafter Demon with Get the Point.
Or the Deadly Visit, either one. Has 2 kill spells. Has to play one of them, because if Seraph drops a creature, then the Vrask's Contempt just ends the game. Not that Seraph knows that, of course.
I'm curious to see. The Swamp probably won't stay, but I'm curious to see if the Lightning Strike's going to be going to the bottom or not. Oh, Seraph going for going for the Dragon play. So that does make sense, but no green mana. Probably going to try to play the Gilded Lotus for that.
Yeah, the Gilded Lotus gives Daragaz the next turn. Ooh, and a Phoenix. Phoenixes are good, I hear.
Unfortunately, the recurring ability of the Phoenix, I don't think there's anything Seraph has that can handle that. Everything in their hand is just destroy.
Yeah, the Phoenix, the recurring Phoenix, as I call it, just keeps coming back for more, unless you can 2-for-1 it somehow. And Seraph going with the dragon for the answer. Gonna see that just get contempted. And that should wrap it up.
It's probably going to be a swing in for the win. Unfortunate mana problems for Seraph there, but almost managed to stabilize there at the end.
Indeed, GG to Saku. I think we're going to get to see Seraph come back a little later and play again. So, yeah. Up next, we're going to have that awesome Skybills person.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Sky's actually going to bring tonight. I know she was streaming some theory crafting the other day, but I didn't end up watching to see what she was going to bring to the table. So I'm real curious to see what it is.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I see green and I see blue.
That's a nice amount of cards.
Oh, it ruined it.
Oh no,
It's
ruined
gone.
forever.
Almost
Sky
on
putting on the
perfect with
finishing
memes.
touches of this deck, it seems.
So, Roguelink, what has been your favorite card you've seen cast tonight?
Cast tonight.
Yeah, somebody. What's the best thing someone's played that you enjoyed seeing the most?
Let's see. I'm not gonna lie, the Zebra's back-to-back take an extra turn was pretty fun, as well as the mass manipulation. But I think the best thing tonight so far was definitely me being forced to choose between a mass manipulation and a Bolus's clutches off of a Karn activation. That told me everything I needed to know.
For me so far, it's been getting to see Seawolf cast Captive Audience. I really, really like that card.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's real expensive, so it doesn't see a lot of play, but in a format like this, I can definitely see it being incredibly useful. And I think a lot of people are building decks tonight, like Commander decks, is definitely what I've noticed. A really big top end, planning to go long, super, super high end top end. I know I definitely did not take that approach. I ended up trying to go low to the ground, super aggressive, kill off all my creatures. I don't care.
I tried to play some kind of Animar deck without an Animar, and it worked out about as well as you would expect without an Animar.
Yeah, I believe your deck actually had Commander in the name, didn't it?
It was called Calm Stand because that's what I kind of nicknamed this format to myself over the course of the week.
Yeah, I ended up having to crop my deck name to be less specific because apparently you can only have 25 characters, and 100 card Singleton takes up a lot of those.
That makes sense.
But I definitely want another shot at this format, especially if we do it after War of the Spark comes out and we get all those new toys to play with.
I definitely see us doing this again. I think a lot of people have enjoyed it.
Oh, definitely. I was saying it earlier, and I think if we do this after War of the Spark, I'm just gonna go all out and build a Mardu Aristocrat Singleton deck.
That sounds like fun. Aristocrats Tribal Singleton. It's on board. I'm on board.
Hey, there's so many new cards that I just cannot wait to get my hands on for our War of the Spark in terms of the Aristocrats deck, because I've played it a couple times. I have this Judith deck that I refer to as the Goblin Queen, which is literally just Judith and a metric ton of goblins.
Yeah, I've lost to it. It's a good deck. I like it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's probably one of my favorite decks that I'm playing right now. And things like Murder Girl is coming out in War of the Spark, which just wipes the board, getting all these triggers. Or where's the other one? The 1/1 haster for red and a black that deals damage equal to its power when it's died. Just so many good toys for Mardu Aristocrats.
Oh yeah, that guy that you can do just dumb things with, him and a thud.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of putting a thud on that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just mean.
Pump up his power a bit and then thud. Rip. Turn 3.
Just double thud. It sounds like
you can do something crazy with a pump spell and a thud on turn 3 with him.
That sounds like something Sky would do. Jund thud.
Yep, that sounds about right.
I bet it looks like we're kicking off this battle. Let's see what Sky is playing tonight.
Ooh, Nikia. I like Nikia.
Yeah, Nikia's interesting. I like the cards that say can't cast non-creature spells. I have a real mixed relationship with them because I love playing creature-heavy decks, but I also really like my exile and murder effects.
Yeah. I don't know. Heartbeat of Spring is one of the first
Naya
cards
on
I played.
PTK dog side.
Oh. Nice.
Sky deciding to keep, probably for that incubation druid.
Incubation Druid's pretty good. Incubation Druid up into Nikia. You can make all the mana to cast something.
Unfortunately, that Shivan Fire is going to come down real quick.
Yeah, anytime you see somebody making fast mana, you want to try and cut it off before it gets going.
Yeah, I've heard several people say that a turn 1 elf is one of the stronger plays in this format right now.
I think
Johnny
so.
coming down, it's gonna make some trouble real quick.
It is good to see you, my friend.
Putting +1/+1 counters on all 0 creatures in play right now.
You know, you just got to get that loyalty up, so he doesn't run away and help some other planeswalker elsewhere in the multiverse.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sky missing the second green source for Sunder Shaman, but the Draconic Disciple is going to let Nikaya come down next turn if she wants.
Definitely. Start making that fast mana. Heartbeat of creatures. And the threat making a creature, but also triggering the Cinder Vines, because it's not a creature spell.
Right.
Strength.
And it's going to get really big if Sky can't do something to take care of it pretty soon.
Well, thinking.
Yep, there we go. Yeah, Sky's in a kind of tough spot right now. Trying to figure out whether or not to go for that Sunder Shaman. Unfortunately, with the Ajani, that big pig's going to get even bigger. And
Yes.
Sky's not really going to have much to block it.
Just get bigger and bigger. But, you know, could kind of turn things into a race a little bit. Try to.
That's true. The disadvantage with attacking, as you all know, is it can't block. So once PTK starts swinging in, Sky's going to be coming right back. In fact, if PTK swings in, then Sky has more than enough to knock out that Ajani, which I would certainly do, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Instead, we're going to see some tokens from the March of the Multitudes. Multi-something.
Yeah, March of the Multitudes, real strong card. I didn't even realize it was instant until relatively recently during one of these streams.
Yeah, it's crazy. That is an instant. It's awesome. I love it. Magic is great.
And ultimate on Ajani, so we're going to have a lot of cats to deal with here soon. PTK trying to go for a wide strategy here.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't go big, go around. Seems smart to me.
Yeah, that Cindervines is going to be doing some work, though, considering what's in their hand. Sky going for the double block. Finally taking out the big pig.
And that, you lose the ability to only cast creatures, but you get the ability to cast your Crushing Canopy. Unfortunately, with the Johnny's Ultimate, now PTK Dog is going to be making 3 tokens. on the instep.
Sky can eat one of these every turn, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
No, especially with gaining life. This is gonna be hard to come back from. We need to see the thing that kills all the pirates, the non-pirates, fiery cannonade. That would have been, fortunately, not. We're gonna go to game 2.
Yeah, not quite enough Sky could do there. PTK ended up stabilizing pretty quick, and she just couldn't get through.
Yeah, and those planeswalker emblems are just so good. All right, so we have a creature that can interact with the board. We have another creature that can turn itself into an engine, kinda. And then on the other side, we have some pretty good cards, but no green mana. So only 2 castable things right now.
Oh, that's a good point. I missed the lack of green mana.
Oh, Goreclaw hanging out on both sides.
Yeah, I think the Beast Whisperer is going to be coming down first. Yep.
I would hope so.
Beast Whisperer, very solid card. I've been wanting to brew around it, but I never actually got around to it.
It's you can untap with it. It's really good. Fortunately, in this case, PTK Dog not going to let Sky untap with it.
And response, I believe response is 5 damage to target tapped creature, correct?
I think so, yes. And
Another Cinder Vines, and it looks like Cobbled Wings. We've got a flying bear, ladies and gentlemen.
you know, sometimes that's what you need.
It's hard to say no to a giant 5/4 flying bear. Ah, it's attacking or blocking creature. So PTK is going to need to keep up that hybrid red-white while Sky's attacking.
And Thorn Lieutenant coming down. Thorn Lieutenant. Another one of those cards hard to get rid of. When you do, deals damage. Well, deals damage. Makes dudes that can deal damage. The Goreclaw dealt some damage.
Let's see if PTK is going to hold up the response. Looks like it. So I think we're going to be seeing a response here soon.
Yeah, that or the Gideon's Reproach. Either one.
Right, both of those are good against target attacking or blocking creatures.
Both are...
Sky
are nice
choosing
to-
between a Branch Walker and a Goblin Legion? Something or other. It's already gone. I forgot what it is. But good card, though. Creates a Goblin every attack step.
And we see the Goreclaw attack, and immediately met with a Gideon's Reproach, which triggers the Cindervines for another damage. Can't discount those 1 damage pings here and there.
Yeah, the Cindervines doing work, especially in this sort of buff-heavy deck that PTK seems to be using. As you'll notice, pretty much every card in PTK's right now is going to trigger Cindervines. Legion's
about.
War Boss, thank you very much. Yeah, it's in several of my decks, so I recognize it, I can tell you what it did. Apparently I forgot the name.
There are so many cards in Magic. What are names? Like, every time I cast Lightning Strike, I still say Bolt your guy.
Yeah, I know for me, I tend to really focus on build around me cards. So the cards that are the build around me's, those I will always remember the name of. Like Judith, I will never forget Judith's name. Ever.
Oh. And just like that, Skybills conceding the game.
Unfortunately, not able to gain steam on that deck. Strong showing. But yeah, unfortunately, Sky could not draw what she needed in order to come back ahead in that game.
Yes, indeed. GG to PTK Dog.
Yes, GG all around.
And
And
it looks
do
like
you know who we have next?
coming up next, we're going to have Seraph back, and we're going to have the Seawolf back.
Ah, there we
Everybody
go.
loves Seawolf.
So Clifford, what's your favorite card that's been spoiled so far?
Out of the new set, oh man.
You've got the big pig, the real big pig that got spoiled today. That's a good choice.
I really, really like the Azorius, the one of each. I'm drawing a blank off of my top of my head right now because you put me on the spot. 1 second. I got this. Dovin's Veto is the name of the card.
Ah, yes, the counter. This can't be countered, right?
Yes, the counter target spell.
Yeah, imagine how crazy that card would be if it was spell or ability.
I mean, even if you just like let it hit any spell, like as a counter target non-creature, it's still so powerful. I just like the counter it. It's countered. You can't stop me. It's done.
When in doubt, just counter all their stuff.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they're gonna try and cast that really, really big explosion, and you just want to say no, and not care that they have 4 or 5 other counter spells backed up. You're just no, stop that.
Yeah, I know. For me, I'm honestly never the best about counter spells, and I don't know how many I should put. I don't know how many I should put in my deck, or when to play them. So I just play white and black, so I can exile your thing or just destroy it as soon as it hits the battlefield.
Yeah, let it touch the board and then get rid of it.
And it looks like the game's starting. Not so good of a starting hand, but this seems better. I have not seen that summoner in ages. It's a 2-drop.
It's a 2-drop
Token
that
shenanigans.
ascends.
Tapped and attacking. An elemental. Seems good.
All right, so Cinder Barons on the top.
Looks like Seraph keeping a 5 land hand, or 5 mana, 5 cards in hand. So both players having a little bit of a tough time with their openers.
All right, so we're gonna see. Oh, I thought we were gonna see the pillar, but instead we're gonna see the pyromancer.
Pyromancer, always a good choice for early red.
Getting in that 2 damage early. We're seeing the summoner attack.
Although I'm surprised the summoner's coming in here. Oh, right, the endurance. Of course. I have one of those in my deck. I should have realized what was going on.
It's a good card. It's a good card. You gotta watch out.
It's a really good card, especially with any sort of recursive or on-death effects. Still not going to last all that long. But next turn, Seawolf is definitely going to be dropping this Phoenix. Also, I'm going to be real sad when Banefire rotates out at the end of the year.
Banefire, I miss Banefire.
Banefire for 5. Best thing against control. So we've got the Phoenix. The Wave's not going to do much. And I think Seraph named dragons? I saw... That's so weird. Okay. Really looking forward to see what other dragons they've got. Although, I think this is probably the same deck Seraph was playing last time. So it's probably like the volcanic
There are
dragon.
probably several, both volcanic, demanding.
Right, the big Jund dragon.
Might see, a Niv hiding out of here with only like 1 cast. You never know. Probably not though.
Yeah, maybe if he could cheat the Niv onto the battlefield, but I don't think this deck's gonna be able to hit the triple blue.
And out comes Karn with the -2
There is great power
get
in the thief.
the token.
Yeah, that token can be pretty powerful, especially if someone's doing a sort of treasure strategy.
Yeah, I really like Karn in this format, especially. He can play in any deck, and any kind of card draw is always welcome in Magic. I would always like to have more card draw.
Yeah, colorless Planeswalker is generally pretty powerful, especially if it's one that draws you cards. For me personally, I generally don't play Karn unless I'm in an artifact-heavy deck. I generally focus on that -2, but that's the creature-heavy player in me talking.
I like to play dumb degenerate combo things. So anything that helps advance my plans,
curious choice.
I'm on board with.
That's fair, can't argue with that. Choosing between a Mountain and an Electrodominance. Easy choice there. Unfortunately, this big Banefire is going to be coming down for quite a bit. And the Phoenix and Paladin swinging in for lethal.
And that will take the game.
So both players having a pretty good showing there. Unfortunately for Seraph, Seawolf was able to pull ahead. But that game felt fairly back and forth.
Yeah, it really did. It really, really did.
Curious to see how this next one's gonna go.
We'll find out very shortly.
Another
We're getting
one-lander. But I like what this deck's doing, but can't keep that one-lander. Although that foot fiend, yeah, is it? Yep, there we go. I'm not gonna lie, I would have that. turn 1 Foot Fiend with a possible Endurance and a turn 3 Judith? Maybe? I'm really liking Seraph's hand too. That Gutter Snipe is going to get a lot of value off the light up the stage. Yeah, and we're going to be seeing a turn 3 Judith here.
We get the Gutter Snipe on one side, and yeah, the Judith on the other side, probably. Or not.
Interesting. But this is actually a pretty good play. Usually when someone lands a Gutter Snipe, they're not going to be using it for blocks. So I can definitely see what Seawolf is planning here.
I can, yeah. Then now Judith comes down and deals damage on your Footlight Fiend.
Right, so either way, Seawolf was going to be getting in for 2 damage this turn. Next turn it would be a little less, but I like how this is going to give 2 guaranteed, up to 3 guaranteed triggers on the Fiend.
And it leaves less... It exposes Judith for less amount of time.
That's true.
And
in the singleton
shock.
format, you want to make sure that your key players can stick. Now let's see if we get the land. Okay, so no land. Banefire for 2? Okay. Wasn't
Gotta
sure
keep the board
what was going to
clear.
happen here.
So now,
Seraph,
decisions.
yeah, it looks like Seraph is finally hitting that point in the game where they can start playing the real big threats. The dragons have entered play.
And we're not going to see the flame go back to hand because no red mana to...
Okay, so are we going to see a Fiend and a Judith, perhaps?
I think we might.
Yeah, there we go. Now, Judith plus Fiend makes some real awkward blocks, but unfortunately, dragons are flyers.
Yes.
So I don't think Seraph's going to care too much about the aristocrat strategy going on here.
The dragon's just going to stare down at them above. Now, it is interesting, because the Whelp can deal some damage, but with the Judith on the board, you might not want to kill the Fiend.
That's true. And Seraph coming in for 7 damage here. The Volcanic Dragon swinging in as a 4/4 haster. Big hasty flyer.
So now this is what I was talking about. The 1 damage, you can kill the Fiend, but then that's 2 more damage that the Judith is going to send back. So, can't kill anything because tapped out. Just pointing the damage right at Seraph's face.
Yeah, unfortunately, Seawolf was tapped out, so the Endurance couldn't quite get played. And I think Seawolf is just trying to go all out here. Oh, nope, not even going to do that final attack, just to concede, with Seraph having Seawolf dead on board.
All right, so that's going to take us to game 3.
Cannot wait to see which Rakdos deck calls it and claims victory.
So, we're going to see a tapped Blood Crypt, no turn 1 plays.
That shock. Oh, right, because the Immolation Shaman comes down with 3. The Shock looking a little awkward right now. And
Yeah,
no
Shock.
second black source for that Vraska's Contempt.
Yeah, got to just live long enough to draw that 5th land. Hope we find another swamp, or just another black source. Meanwhile, Seawolf just needs to find more lands in general. And that's another thing on 2 that we can cast.
Yeah, Seawolf getting pretty lucky getting a lot of 2-drops in hand. Unfortunately, 2-drops tend to be very prime targets for Shocks.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Gonna take the 4? Yep, taking the 4 here. And no point using Shock on a skeleton.
No, he just
Lucio
reassembled.
Best coming down, though. That's pretty solid card.
Yeah, it just needs some land to cast it, and we're in business. Oh, and a Rupture Spire. That's good. That'll get Seraph the second black source next turn.
I'm not sure what... Actually, probably Eldest Reborn here. Maybe? I'm actually not sure what Seraph's gonna play from this hand here. The Rupture Spire does allow pretty much everything in their hand to be played, though. I think actually everything, yeah.
We can cast just about everything.
Ah, that's what I was missing. Sacrificing a card for the second risk factor.
That makes sense. The Shock is the weakest card in the hand right now.
Right, especially when you can cast all of these 5-drops. Now, Eldest Reborn, usually a fairly strong play, but I'm not sure what creatures are actually in the graveyard right now.
And again, with the reassembling skeleton on the board, it's not the best course of action, because reassembling skeleton just comes back.
Some more ramp in the
Yeah,
form of the Guild Pact. Sword Point Diplomacy. Ah, yes. Such an interesting card. Kind of reminds me of a black risk factor.
And Seraph getting rid of lands. That's an interesting play, paying some life to get rid of the lands to keep Seawolf.
It actually makes a lot of sense, especially Seraph obviously can't see what's in Seawolf's hand, but 4 mana is a pretty powerful spot just in Magic in general. 4-drops and 5-drops tend to be very strong. So keeping your opponent off of 4 is a pretty good play, honestly.
If it costs 4 mana and doesn't say you win the game, I don't know why you're playing it. Right? That's what they say.
They usually don't say you win the game, but they do usually say something along the lines of 5/5 flying first strike haste with lifelink. Oh wait, sorry, that's 5-drop, not 4-drop.
And that's a way to deal with the skeleton forever. Just Vraska's Contempt the skeleton. It can't reassemble from exile.
And unfortunately, with Seraph getting rid of those lands, Seawolf is having to move to discard.
Yep, keep staying on those 3 mana. Force Seawolf to keep discarding cards. Now we're seeing the Eldest Reborn come down. Won't do much in the way of killing creatures, but you know,
There's
starts the saga.
Perhaps
business.
mastermind acquisition? Oh, right, it puts it into your hand. That might not be the best thing. But at least you choose which card you discard off of. Oh, is that a Rakdos the Showstopper I see there?
That's what it looked like. Oh, and a demanding dragon.
Unfortunately, Demanding Dragon costs 5.
So we'll find out what's on top of the deck. If it's a land,
If it's a land, that'll be pretty nice, especially since the Demanding Dragon is definitely going to be dealing 5 damage to Seraph when it drops.
and if it's not, then we'll probably just see Blightning. Yep, Carnage, the Blightning.
Yep, straight to the dome. And what's this gonna grab? Oh, right! The Josu Vess! Yeah, that's definitely the best. Definitely the best pick.
Hard agree. Oh, and
There's your
there's
land.
the land. We're gonna see the Chupacabra come down. Now it's just13 battle of top decks. On
Is this going to be a
Seraph's side.
hard casting Skewer the Critics? But both players are getting pretty low on life. Seawolf hit the magic number of 5 though.
And there's that demanding
This
dragon.
is probably going to clear Seraph's board. Well, definitely going to clear Seraph's board. Bringing Seraph down to 2. What could they have? Ritual of Soot, not going to do any... Oh, wait, nope, that is not a Ritual of Soot. Yagamoth's File Offering. Yep, not going to do it. And there we go. It
And
goes
that
to
will do
Seawolf.
it. Seawolf will take the victory.
GG.
All right, so that Seawolf is one. We're going to get one more game in here tonight before we have my schedule page disappeared. We have the Super Metroid Prodigy Tournament coming up next in just about half an hour. But before that, we have one more game we're going to get through. We're going to do Seraph. It's going to hang around. Have you had fun so far, Roguelink? You enjoy?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially seeing people's different approaches to this format. I know personally I follow a format called Canadian Highlander, which is a 100-card singleton format with a sort of points list. And that's my primary source of sort of 100-card singleton as opposed to Commander. I
Okay.
can definitely see that I was taking one approach with a slightly more aggressive format than other people taking the more Commander long-term approach.
I started building a deck, and then I got about halfway through it, and it was half a deck that really cared about instants and sorceries, and half a deck that just wanted to cast creatures, and it had no identity, and I cut all the instants and sorceries and just added more creatures, because creatures are fun, right? Big dumb creatures.
Yeah, I started with a because I had Mardu on the brain because I'm watching all these
All these beautiful
War of
spoilers.
the Spark
right?
spoilers, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna make this happen. I'm gonna do Mardu Singleton, and then I build the deck out, and I had like 4 red cards. So I just cut the red creatures and was like, well, I guess that means I'm cutting the other red spells too. I just ended up with black-white tokens.
So we're just getting set up here really quickly for Seraph and Skybill. Skybill's coming back. One more game.
Seraph playing some kind of brilliance deck. I'm curious.
And here it goes.
Oh, I think I see what's going on here. This is going to be a white equipment deck. I bet it has that. I bet it has that 2/3 knight that doesn't do anything until it has an equipment. I bet it has the 2/2 first strike knight that reduces your equipment costs. Not sure what that Radiant Destiny is gonna name though. If it's knights, I'll laugh really hard. And looks like Sky playing some kind of Boros strategy.
Boros aggro. Hey, there's Experimental Frenzy.
We all know
Card.
how much Sky likes Experimental Frenzy.
I have one just so that I can get her to sign it at GDQ.
Oh, that's a great idea. Come on, Seraph, play the Radiant Destiny. I really want to know what you name. Or maybe it'll be cats. That would also be kind of funny.
Ooh, that would be good times.
Just go all in on a Johnny and all that stuff.
We're attacking the Planeswalker.
You think you're a warrior?
Can't let Sarkin become too powerful here.
Yeah, I'm real curious to see how long Sky's gonna wait for this Cleansing Nova. Because Seraph definitely seems to be having a pretty slow start, but I've got a hunch that Seraph's deck is generally gonna be pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, generally you want to keep your sweepers to at least get a 2. You don't want to use them as just a straight one spell, but now we have reason right here. Boom.
So
Pride
I'd like
Mate
to
coming
point
down.
out that a Johnny Pridemate is another cat.
Johnny's Pridemate getting reprinted. Coming back in the next set.
Is it? That's pretty sweet. It's a good card. It's going to be in standard for a while then, if that's the case. And honestly, I wouldn't blame Sky if she Cleansing Novas just to get rid of that Pridemate.
Yeah, it's got a pretty nice art on it too. I like it.
You should surrender now.
I'm excited about all the cool Planeswalker cards that aren't actually Planeswalkers. Just that are Planeswalker adjacent.
Oh, like the uncommon walkers?
Oh no, I was just like a Johnny's Pridemate.
Don't doubt my
Ah, yes, yes. Seraph continuing to keep me in the dark with what he's gonna name with Radiant Destiny.
no friend of mine.
One day
Strength.
we'll find out. Maybe.
I just want to know. Seraph sending the creatures in at the walkers, I'm guessing?
That's what it's looking like. Decisions to make, but at this point,
Scott- Yep, Sky's tapped out with only a 3-power blocker. One of those two is gonna die.
but which one?
Or neither.
Or both? Nope. Neither. Out of all of the possible outcomes, we got one of them.
Let's see. Sky can now Banefire for 5, which is very important against a mono white deck. Don't want it to get countered.
Yes. Perfect.
And Sky probably real hesitant to use that Banefire, of course, coming down on the Ajani. Don't want those cat tokens to be a problem. And
Alright,
now the two creatures coming in trying to take out those planeswalkers.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see just no blocks. Planeswalker is going to die. Might as well let it die.
Destiny is wrong.
Sky probably holding off on the Experimental Frenzy until that Cleansing Nova can do some work. Oh, let's see what it is. No! Wow. Rude.
Teasing you. We'll see it next turn, right before attacks.
Oh, I'm sure. Looks like Sky's got her own Ajani,
Except
and the
we won't.
Cleansing Nova finally coming down, wiping everything out.
I know what I'm doing.
Sarkin says he
just
knows what
in
he's
time.
doing, but I don't believe him. I don't think Sarkin has ever known what he's doing.
Sky about to have some pretty strong plays here.
Yeah, more planeswalkers.
More planeswalkers and heroic reinforcements is going to be real strong. 2 3/3s next turn.
Oh well, or not. Instead, we're just gonna get a 1/1.
Or discard it to Sarkin.
I will lend you my strength.
Ooh, Knight of the Tusk.
That guy can just attack forever.
Yeah, 3/7 with Vigilance. It's a pretty big body.
So now decisions. Which planeswalker to knock down a little bit.
You call that a hit?
Well, Angel of Grace is a pretty good card that you can cast.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help stabilize a bit. Though both players are at 20 or more life, so I don't think stabilizing is really the name of the game here.
I don't need.
No, not quite so much.
I need this.
Though that Angel is going to be a pretty big body. I think Sky's going to start swinging in here soon. And this is definitely going to be naming Knights. Yep. But unfortunately, that Angel is still going to be a pretty big problem. But Seraph is holding off the magic 4 mana for Settle the Wreckage.
That Settle
If
the
that
Wreckage.
Angel does decide to come in.
Settle the Wreckage is going to come up huge. So, Ajani adding more counters to things.
Deliver us.
Yep,
to victory.
and let's see, the token's not quite strong enough to swing in yet.
So,
Almost. So I wouldn't be surprised if Seraph only gets the Angel with this attack. But Sky might be reading the Settle from a mile away. It's hard to tell. It is pretty dangerous to attack into a white deck with more than 4 mana up. And yeah, Sky choosing not to attack. I think she knows the Settle's there, or at least thinks it's there.
has thoughts that yes, this Settle the Wreckage is there and ready to go.
Knight of the Tusk with double vigilance, very important.
Or just, doesn't want to, leave anything untapped. Or leave anything tapped for the swing back.
It's true.
Blockers are important to protect those planeswalkers.
And those planeswalkers are doing work. Sarkind allowing Sky to filter her hand down to only the important bits. And Ajani continuing to pump up those 2 really important bodies. Almost able to ultimate, actually able to ultimate, because I thought it was a -8, not a -7.
We fight together.
Yes, it's slightly cheaper. It's the RAL with the -8.
Ah, that's right. So now there's going to be a lot of cats. And the boards are still building up on both sides. But I think Sky's going to be able to go wide just a little bit faster. Ooh, Resurgence. That's a good call. Which,
All right.
I think the swing's coming in.
I know what I'm doing.
Oh, maybe? Yep, here it is.
Yep,
And that's
come
going to
on.
be a settle in response.
Now, unfortunately for Seraph, that Subtle Wreckage is only going to get one card, and we're going to see 3 cats place that card very, very quickly.
And even more with the War Leader coming down on Sky's next turn.
And you know how hard it is to herd cats.
I like that charge, but I don't know. I guess Seraph could swing in here. I do like this attack. And if
Get rid
there's
of the
any
Sark.
double blocks, you can always use the charge. So
Could.
maybe, yep. Gonna take out the 4/4. Put Sarkind a little lower.
Love a little.
Sarkin lives. That's the big important part for Skybills. Ooh, Lava Coil.
Lava Coil just enough to get the patrol. Nowhere near enough for the Tusk, unfortunately. Oh, but an Ixalan's Binding.
Off of that Light Up the Stage. Light Up the Stage proving once again to be a great card.
I remember when I first saw that card, and I was like, oh man, this isn't going to be that great. The cards go away. And then I started playing it, and it's just ridiculous.
Remember when they first printed Oblivion Ring?
Don't doubt
Such a
my
good card.
methods.
Alright, so more cats.
Benelish Honor Guard, unfortunately, still only a 2/2. But definitely looks like this is more of a knight deck than a cat deck.
Yes. We'll definitely get the bonus for being a knight also. And sacrificial cats. Protecting Sarkin. These cats also worship dragons. That's why they're here.
I'm not sure what happened there. I definitely missed something.
So the enchantment that Sky played deals damage to everything that doesn't have some kind of combat abilities. And none of the tokens had those combat abilities, so they all those poor
I
guys
don't
all died.
need this.
Ah, okay.
This.
It has so many abilities listed out. I assumed one of those would be Lifelink, since Lifelink's also a pretty strong white ability. But then again, Sky doesn't care. She's getting 3 around.
Yeah, get 3 more, that's fine.
That Loxodon is probably going to pump a bunch of those cats as well.
I would think so. Now Seraph has to decide who to attack.
Sky going with the chump blockers, which makes sense. I don't think we want. I don't think she wants that Siegebreaker Giant to die just yet. Though that Knight of the Tusk with 9 toughness is going to be a pretty good blocker against pretty much everything. Oh, and that Aurelia. Another fantastic Boros card in Sky's hand. It's going to allow her to just go over the top.
between the Demanding Dragon, another nice flyer. Lots of ways to get up in the air here.
Seraph playing more knights, but unfortunately locked to the ground.
Yep, being stuck on the ground, can only look up at those dragons and no cards in hand.
Yeah, no good attacks from Seraph anymore. Sky slowly gaining in life.
Slowly but surely.
And now, the addendum coming
Getting the
down,
addendum. Everything is
giving
indestructible.
everything a counter, and indestructible, and vigilance. Might as well just swing out with everything. Great card. One of my favorite nicknames for that card is Addendum 300,
Yeah.
because of the shield on shield action.
Oh, and now things can't block.
Oh no! Yep, that would have been a real big swing.
And that'll do it. That'll give Sky the first game.
That was really tense. Sky was on the ropes and then managed to pull it back.
Yeah, stabilization. All right, so on to game 2. Skybills having taken game 1, coming back from looked like, you know, in the early game that Seraph was going to take control.
Lots of removal in Seraph's hand, but I don't know if this is a keeper. A 1 Dauntless Bodyguard's not going to be quite enough momentum.
Oh, and another 1 lander. Ugh. We're going to keep it.
So I can definitely see what Seraph's thinking here, hoping for a land on turn 2, get that Vanguard down, put a sword on it, maybe Helm of the Host, just start going to town.
Yeah.
Although I'm curious to see if there's any first strike synergy for that Quendi Pride, the Quendi, which is a really good card. If you're not familiar with it, it's a 2/2 knight with double strike that gives all of your creatures with first strike double strike. It used to be a key player in one of my old knight decks.
That sounds like fun.
It was a very interesting build around when I still had the white cartouche from Amonkhet.
Oh, yes.
So at that time, the only evasion in my knight deck was just a ton of first strike.
Oh, and there's a 3rd land for Seraph.
Getting close to that Helm of the Host mana. Perhaps Candlelight Vigil. Although, probably going to play the Double Striker and put Candlelight Vigil on that. The Tribunal coming down, getting rid of that Vanguard.
It's one of the few ways to absolutely get rid of an Adonto Vanguard forever. Well, forever, quote unquote. Till that you find some enchantment.
Yeah, Seraph realizing that Luminous Bonds does not stop activated abilities. So choosing not to use it on the Bounty Agent.
No, not quite a Faith's Fetters. Almost, though. Almost. Does shut down, the flyer, though.
Choosing to shut down the flyer, but the Sunwing has the very important ability of your opponent's creatures enter the battlefield tapped. So unfortunately, the Luminous Bonds isn't going to do anything against that.
Paladin of Atonement.
that's going to be pretty good here. Every time you take damage, you put a +1/+1 counter on the paladin, and then when it dies, you gain life equal to its toughness.
Fortunately, it comes into play tapped because of the luminously bonded flyer, so it won't be able to block this turn.
And unfortunately, the Helm of the Host is actually going to be at a pretty significant disadvantage here, because those tokens are going to come in tapped. Now that I think about it,
But that fourth land gives Settle the Wreckage. So
that's true, and that looks like exactly what Seraph's game plan is right now.
So Seraph can settle here. I mean, that would be not bad for Sky either. Trading creatures for lands.
Yeah, Sky could definitely use the land. Is Seraph gonna go for the settle? Probably. Okay, gonna go for the block instead.
Gonna try and hope to get more value.
Oh, is Sky gonna use the response? It looked like she was tempted for a second there. Gonna pass, so it's just gonna be a trade and 4 damage coming in. But 3 of that's gonna get healed.
Yeah. The Paladin will gain some life back. Now we're gonna go looking for treasure. Got our map out. And now the double striker.
So I think Seraph's game plan here is to Helm of the Host a bunch of double strikers. But unfortunately, the 3 power isn't going to be enough. And
Yep.
I think Sky can just swing in here for lethal.
And that demanding dragon is that's gonna be game probably.
Yep,
Let's
Seraph
see.
opting to not take the damage. But everything else is going to rumble in. Oh, wait, sorry, not quite lethal because the Sungwing can't swing yet. So that's going to bring Seraph down to 2.
Yeah, the Sunwing has those nice luminous bonds. And now it comes down to this guy's gonna attack with 2, settle the wreckage. He's gonna come out.
Just a
Buy
little bit
Seraph
left.
a turn. See a couple of more lands from Skybills.
So good
And
on
down
Sky
comes-
there, continuing to play around the Settle the Wreckage.
The Immortal Sun.
Unbreakable Formation coming down for Seraph, but unfortunately with no board presence, it's not going to do much here.
At 2 life, not going to be able to gain enough to live, I don't think.
Swinging in for 5, sending a message, and giving the good games.
Sky will take the 5, draw the extra card. And the dragon will fly.
There we go, that's the GG.
And that is the GG for Skybills, taking the final game to and bringing us to the end of another Wednesday Night Magic. Looks like we're like right up against the top of the hour, which means we have Super Metroid Prodigy Tournament coming up right now, literally right now. So Roguelink, if you're ready, we can say goodnight to everybody, and we'll be back next week, Wednesday night. Be sure to join the Discord to be kept up with all the information, including the information about the tournament that I've been teasing for like a month and a half now, and I finally might have something for you guys. Just keep checking the Discord, and then you'll know. But we're gonna get out of here for Super Metroid to come on. Roguelink, you have anything else to say?
Looking forward to that tournament, and I'll see y'all next week.
Have a great night, everyone.